And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot to talk about. There's a whole lot happening all over the internet, all over mainstream media, all over everywhere. There's a brand new variant of the bug called Omicron. Funny how they skipped right past XI. Maybe they didn't want to offend a certain someone in China. A certain someone looks just like Winnie the Pooh. A Winnie the Pooh doppelganger. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, we got to talk about the response to the new variant bug. You have an Africa ban. I thought that was racist, Joe Biden. That's what I was told just last year, that it was racist to ban black and brown folks from Africa, that it was racist to ban Chinese folks, FOLX. We'll talk about the hypocrisy and whatnot in a little bit. Also, speaking about Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton says you guys are not appreciating what Joe Biden has done for you. Don't you guys see it? His policies, Build Back Better, you're fighting climate change and all that kind of good stuff. You're praising Greta Thunberg, you're praising George Floyd as a deity, like Jesus himself. Isn't that a good thing? You guys need to stop player hating and appreciate. Also, shout out to your man LeBron James, tattle-telling on a fan in the crowd for saying some, I guess, mean things to him. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy what you have heard thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content in general, give the video a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. Hey, I'm sorry I'm like 45 seconds late. It's not my fault. Blame the white man. But we're going to get into all the topics mentioned in this particular podcast. And this will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box. And if you listen to me over there right now, please give this podcast a 5-star rating, a review, whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate it. And shout out to the sponsors, of course. We know we do that every single show at the very beginning. Shout out to bhedesigns.com. I say that every show, and I always get questions. Hey, where do we buy the flags? How can I get a flag? Well, these flags that are behind me, or one of your very own, handmade, wooden, right here in America, are available over at bhedesigns.com. The link will be in the description box below. Also, go to ablmerch.com. If you want the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, whatever you want from me that I make, that I wear in the videos, the link for that will also be in the description box, ablmerch.com. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. I have my email there, my snail mail, all my social media platforms, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff is over on anthonyblogan.com. And also, for every single video, I write an article. So nobody can say that I'm making stuff up, that didn't happen. You don't have any evidence. You don't have any sources. It's all over on the website, anthonyblogan.com. And also, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. Again, patriotpost.us. Everything shall be in the description box below. Now, we got a whole lot to get through. We got a whole lot happening here. I'm not really sure where to begin. Where do I start with all this news going on? Oh, let's start with something kind of a softer topic to kind of, I guess you would say, break the ice, right? Let's start with Hillary Clinton saying that we should appreciate Joe Biden. After all, he's the guy that paved the way for us to have Build Back Better. He's the one that is fighting climate change. He's the one who was out there pretty much forgetting who he is, where he is at any given point in time, embarrassing the USA, farting in front of foreign dignitaries, all that good. He's doing so good for us. We have to appreciate him. And I'm going to play some of that video right quick just so we could be on the same page. So you guys know I'm not making it up. And I always tell you the truth. I'm not a liar at all. You guys know that by now. But she said this during the MS 13DNC interview with Rachel Maddow. Pardon me. That was a mistake, honest mistake. So let's try to get to a little bit here. And sorry for the extreme close-up, but it is what it is. I think it'll work just fine. Let's get Hillary Clinton on the horn talking about we got to appreciate Joe Biden.
Power to impose their views, power to just want power.
Right, here's talking about Republicans just wanting power to impose their views, all this, that, and the third. I kind of want to skip ahead a little bit.
See the signs of it everywhere. You know, democracy is messy. You know, a lot of people got, I think, kind of frustrated looking at the messy process of legislation. And they didn't really appreciate that within a year, the Biden administration has passed two major pieces of legislation through both the House and the Senate. They've passed another major piece through the House that will.
Okay, let's just pause right there. So you guys, you heard what she was saying. She's like, look, you guys are so blinded by what's happening with the politics, how everything's so polarized and people are annoyed and everybody's getting offended. Through all that fog, you guys just couldn't see the good that Joe Biden has done. Passing these historic bills through the House, through the Senate. One bill got through the House, not quite through the Senate yet, but good enough through the House. You guys don't appreciate it enough. That is a problem. It's not that he's doing a bad job. No, it's not that when you go to the gas pump, it's out of control. Okay, it's double, triple. I saw somebody had this mashup. Well, it was just two pictures, not really a mashup, but it was two pictures. If I could find it, I'll place it on the screen. But the person was talking about gas prices and just kind of confused, like, hey, what's going on? Why are gas prices so high from place to place? Matter of fact, I'm gonna put this up right quick. Y'all give me a second. And here it is. Matter of fact, shout out to OG Bobby Glanton Smith from the 5150 show back in the day. Now, here's what I'm talking about right here. Let's put it on the screen. Now, the caption says, something is rotten in the cotton. California gas on the left, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is like Nashville area, on the right. $3 difference. Why? And for you guys that can't see, the left is a Chevron Food Mart. The gas is $6.05, $6.07, $6.09, $6.19 for diesel. But at a Circle K in Murfreesboro, unleaded $2.88, diesel $3.23. So, I mean, look at this. This is at the same point in time. This is not like a throwback picture. This is at the same point in time. And I can vouch for that. I live in Tennessee, about an hour and a half from Murfreesboro, and gas is right around that. I paid like $2.90 today. I gassed up my truck today and I paid $2.90. I have a Tundra, like a big truck, right? The big tank. To fill up my tank is like $65. Okay. Now, if I had that same truck in California, I'm paying well into the $100. I'm paying an extreme amount. I'm paying a nice steak dinner for two every time in California to fill up my truck. Now, and the question they have is, why is this happening? What's going on? Okay, first of all, the price over here is not actually low. The $2.88 is not low because back before this guy came in office, gas was like $1.95, $1.08. It was cheap. It was very low. The $3 gas is relatively new as far as in recent time. We didn't really have that under Trump at all. Gas was very low. And he's asking the question, why is it so high? Well, maybe it's because of all the taxes in California, number one. But number two, because you got this guy, Joe Biden, killing all the pipelines and trying to make gas more expensive. As a matter of fact, there was a person in the administration, and I'm going to get back to Hillary Clinton in a minute, but there was a person in the administration who admitted that they're trying to bankrupt the gas industry. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find it right quick. If I can find that, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Hold on. So here is what I'm talking about. So this is a Biden nominee. Starve them of capital. Biden nominee, bankrupt oil companies to fight climate change. This is her right there. I forget her name. I think she's from Kazakhstan or somewhere. I'm not really sure where she's from. Some part over there, like somewhere over there. She needs to go back over there rather than being over here, ruining our country. But they want to bankrupt the oil companies to fight climate change. So in order to bankrupt the oil companies to fight climate change, they got to bankrupt you. Because the only way the oil companies are going to go out of business is if they cannot make money off of your back. If you don't buy gas, then they don't have business. It's just simple as that. That's all that it is. They produce gas, sell it to you, you buy it. That's the exchange. They're only going to be out of business if you can't afford to pay it. So when you go to the pump and your poor little Dodge Challenger you got when you signed up to the military, hey, here's a Challenger, you 23-year-old and a box of crayons. Have at it. Anyway, when you go to the pump and you can't pay, then you can't pay. They're going to try to get more public transit, more quote unquote green energy, which is highly inefficient. You got these wind turbines that don't work. We saw that during the Texas situation, right? The wind turbines don't work when they freeze up, but that gas always works. That gas ain't going to freeze up. That gas is not going to freeze up, okay? Your car might need a little bit of time to warm up and get rocking and rolling, but the gas ain't going to freeze up. But them oil, but the wind turbines going to freeze up. And when you can't use a wind turbine anymore, when you want to discard it, it is not decomposed. It's just a big giant hunk of metal, of steel, of lead, or whatever it is on the ground. Not decomposing, not rotting, just taking up space. Same thing with the solar panels. They're just on the ground. It ain't nothing but a big crock pot. You got a bird flying over that. He's going to be fried chicken. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going on. So getting back to what Hillary Clinton was saying, why would we appreciate what Joe Biden is doing when the things that he's doing is not working? You keep printing more and more and more and more monopoly money, more stimulus, more welfare state expansion. They're trying to, with this Build Back Better thing, they're trying to expand the welfare state into the middle class. That's all it's about. They're trying to extend the earned income tax credit up to middle class. If you make, what, 280, 300,000, you can get an earned income tax credit. You see how that goes? So they're trying to expand the welfare state. They're trying to expand that government, big daddy government up to you if you make a whole bunch of money. So it just kind of erodes the desire to work. It erodes the desire to go forward. This is like how you have communist states. This is what they do. And I think the person that is going to be the nominee or is a nominee comes from a communist country or a formerly communist country, because I think Kazakhstan was part of USSR. So this is the same thing happening over and over again, which is why it's very important to teach history in the real way. Because if you don't know history, you shall be doomed to repeat it. It's very simple. I'm seeing some of the gas prices. They're talking about $5 for unleaded. I mean, come on, $5? What in the world? Cat of the Year says, you're literally invisible if bill notifications aren't on. I haven't seen you in months, ABL. That's crazy. And you guys, please, if you're subscribed to me, check to see if you have the bell notification on so you get subscribed whenever I go live and or post a new video. I forgot to say that. I've been saying that for a while, but I forgot to say it. So please click the bell right on the subscribe button. Make sure that bell is clicked so you get all my notifications whenever I go live or post a new video. All right. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, so, I mean, Hillary Clinton's just way off. And she's still coughing. So what's the explanation for the coughing? I'm not really understanding why she's still coughing like that. Gotta be sick. Gotta be sick. That's right, No 72. The wind turbine blades cannot be recycled. They just sit on the ground. It just lay on the ground, just taking up space for no reason. And they're not efficient. It's unnecessary. You know, if you're going to have wind turbines, it could be like something wooden, or I don't know. Have a wind turbine for yourself where it's like it's made out of material that are decomposed at least, not just stuff that just sit on the ground and not do anything, just taking up space for no reason. Okay, and I'm gonna try to find that coughing clip right quick, just so you guys can see if you didn't see it. Okay, there was I think that might have been like a little parody video. We don't gotta watch that one. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. You definitely are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you've been hearing thus far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out a whole lot. So, I mean, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Hillary or with Kamala Harris. They might want to try to roll out one of these people to try and run again in 2024, but it can't be Hillary. Hillary's pretty much halfway dead. Kamala Harris, nobody likes. It's not going to work. They tried it during the camp. They tried it last year, 2020, with Kamala Harris. It didn't work then. I think it'll work even less now because there's less favorability toward the Democratic Party in general. So they're pretty much toast on the national level, especially next year, 2022. But we'll see how they do. We'll see if Joe Biden makes it throughout his entire term. They're talking about, I saw Jen Psaki say that they want to run Joe Biden again. It's like, really? You're going to run their old truck? Like, this man's odometer has lapsed. The odometer has lapsed. Let him just rest somewhere. Leave him alone. It's elder abuse. This man is 79, going on 179. Leave him alone. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. She was sick in 2016 and still sick right now. And they got her out here doing interviews for a new book coming out. That's what that was, by the way. If you guys are wondering why she's doing interviews, well, she got a book coming out, or there is a book coming out that she could be involved with. So here's the coughing incident, if you guys have not seen it.
Hillary Clinton is, oh, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Wait, okay. I got a question. Why is Rachel Maddow coughing? I mean, are y'all next to each other? Did you get whatever she had in your airway? What's going on, Rachel? Just let her cough. Don't try to cape for her by coughing as well.
Hillary Clinton is, oh, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there in a way that surprised you.
I mean, y'all got to stop. Oh, I surprised you. She's been doing that same cough for the past 5 years. Let it go. Just let it go. Stop. We already know that she's not right. Anybody with a brain, this is part of the reason why the mainstream media sucks so bad. We know it's an obvious problem going on here. We've been seeing it for the past, at bare minimum, 5 years. Consistently. It's always been the same thing. During the campaign trail, she was a whole bag of coughs. A bagpipe full of coughs, right? And then when you see her on random occasion throughout the years, she also coughs. So why try to act like, oh, I just surprised her, all this and that? Come on, let's stop. But we'll see what they're going to do in 2022 and 2024. I don't believe they have anybody, but only time shall tell, I suppose. Only time shall tell. And, hey, but you guys got to appreciate Joe Biden for what he's done. Now, there's a new variant of the bug called Omicron. Now, my thing, okay, there's a whole lot to it. But they're trying to go off of, I think, the Greek alphabet. And if I'm wrong, y'all please let me know. I don't know everything. I could be wrong. But I know there are certain letters. I think it's a Greek alphabet, if I'm not mistaken. So let's put this on the screen right quick just so we can know what the Greek alphabet looks like. Okay? And we see some of the other variants that they've had here. All right. So we see the other ones that have come before. Let me push it up a little bit, actually. Let me get that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so you see alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, etc. You see them, right? In order. We had lambda, we had the delta variant, all that. But we've not had the Xi variant, right? The XI. We've not had that one quite yet. So did it skip it? Why did it skip it? Is there a particular reason why they skipped it? Huh? Maybe it's because you got President Xi Jinping over in China. You can't name it the Xi variant because that'd be the equivalent of calling it the China virus. Although it's just an alphabetical denomination, it's not even meant to be a name. Nah, don't do that because it's too close to Xi Jinping. So we don't want to have it be called the Xi variant, the China virus, the China bug, the Wu flu. We don't want nothing like that. The sweet and sour sniffles, nothing like that because that's racist. That's offensive. That's just what it is. Okay. There have been plenty of viruses directly named after specific places, right? What was that? It was one flu. It wasn't Ebola. It was something. It was some African thing. I forget what it was, but it wasn't Ebola. Now, matter of fact, I think Ebola is the actual place, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna look it up right quick. But there have been plenty of viruses named for where they actually came from. Right? I'm gonna look up the etymology right quick. Hold on. Let me look at the name. I think Ebola is the actual place, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless of what's going on, there have been plenty of West Nile. Okay, name for where they came from. The Hong Kong flu. And SARS. SARS was the Southern Asia respiratory syndrome. Then they changed it to severe acute respiratory syndrome. Severe acute, what? Southern Asia to severe acute, because you can't say Southern Asia, that's China, basically. So you can't say Southern Asia, severe acute. They keep changing stuff. So yeah, West Nile virus, monkeypox, Zika, yeah, that was it. Zika, that's the actual place. Ebola Cameroon, yep. So, I mean, but this is what China does. And we're to just think that China does not have any kind of control over anything, and they're just so benign, and they do good things. The funniest thing to me about China, to talk about them right quick, I got to talk about China for a moment. China is in Africa really heavy right now. I mean, very heavy. They control a lot of things in China. And I told people this years ago. I said this like 2016, 2017 on the O'Shea panel back in the day. Shout out to them guys over there. But I said this back then. I was like, you know what? The Europeans were better for Africa than the Chinese are. I still stand by that. Why? A quick story I've told before, but it still kind of holds. And don't fact check me on this because the story can go for what's happening right now. You can see it happening for yourself. Don't just take this story's word for it as the only frame of reference you have. But anyway, now the Europeans, when they were colonizing a certain place, I think it might have been somewhere in East Africa, but don't hold me to that. They were in a place as colonizers and they found gold. So they opened a gold mine and they employed local people to perform certain tasks on the gold mine. Now, I'm not saying they just gave all the gold to the people, all this and that, profit sharing. I don't know nothing about that. But I do know what they did was they gave local residents jobs and they trained them and gave them equipment and whatnot. There was also a pool right on or near the gold mine that was just open to everybody. You could be a local worker, non-worker, come on into the pool and swim, and it was all good, right? Now, when the Europeans left, the gold mine closed. Now, I'm not really sure if the locals just couldn't handle it, they didn't know what to do or whatever. For whatever the reason was, the gold mine closes. Now, the Chinese come years later and they reopen the gold mine. Now, what do the Chinese do when they come in? Okay, some guy is getting a big bag of money, but not that big to where it makes sense for the Chinese to come in and take whatever they want. But one local guy gets a bag of money. He lets them in. They bring in their own people from China to come and work. So they don't employ anybody locally. They bring in Chinese people to work. Nobody speaks anything other than Chinese, Mandarin. They take all the gold, send it right back to China. There's no pool, and they don't care about the environment. They'll pollute. They do whatever they want to do. And then when the gold is gone, they bounce. So you didn't get any jobs, no pool, no training, no equipment, no nothing. That's China. That's what they do. Another example, they do some really unfair deals in Africa, but all over the world. The whole debt trap thing. Hey, you guys need some money, right? You need a loan. You need like what, $200 million, $300 million? Okay, cool. No problem. All right, we'll give you the money, no strings attached. But if you can't pay, then we need some collateral just in case, right? And the collateral is, all right, how about these 4 plots of oil? How about this international airport? How about some territory within your country to be able to grow food and send it back to China? How about that? So the more recent thing that happened was, I think Uganda is now in danger of losing their airport. Hold on. I'm gonna find out right quick. So here it is. Uganda loses key airport to China lenders after loan default. So basically, China they have an airport now because they took it over. They could do whatever they want. So if they want to fly in drugs, guns, whatever they want to do is fine because it's their airport. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Any flight that comes in there, they will take that money from the airport and send it back to China. If you're living in Uganda, oh well. Are you going to be able to get a job at the airport? Maybe if you've been there for a while, if you're a good pilot, but they're going to bring in Xi Longfeng to fly the plane and to sweep the floors. That's what's happening with Africa. Europe didn't do this really. The Europeans in the West, they have more, how can I say, they have more conditional terms of their loans to where the usury does not happen as much, like the way China does it. They don't really care. China cares. They have no empathy. The Europeans had empathy toward Africans, but the Chinese don't. They don't care at all. They're like a virus. That's the actual virus right there, but that's a different story. But anyway, China is an actual threat. They're talking about Russia. Russia just minding their own business. They're trying to be a sovereign country. They're trying to get money. They're trying to feed their people. They're not the actual problem. China is the actual issue. Okay, they got these hypersonic missiles that fly through the air under the radar. You can't stop it. Nuclear tests. They're trying to invade Taiwan, which is, in their mind, China. Hong Kong. They pretty much have taken that back. So they might try to say, you know what, the Philippines is ours too, because we have ancestral roots there. How about Singapore? Well, that's theirs. Malaysia, Indonesia. Take all that. And what you gonna do about it? So we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, so, and speaking about Africa, there's a new variant called Omicron, and it comes from Southern Africa. Obviously, the biggest country, South Africa, that's the most populous and the most economically sound. I think Zimbabwe is also pretty good. Botswana, Mozambique, Malawi, Lesotho, Eswatini, and I think Namibia. Malawi, Mozambique. All those countries are on a travel ban. But wait a minute. Didn't Joe Biden himself say this very thing was racist just last year? Just last year. I ain't talking about 1975 when he was still a young man in office. I ain't talking about the 70s before I was even born. I'm talking about 2020 when he was trying to become the president, when he was on the campaign trail. He said not once but twice this very action of a travel ban, for whatever the reason may be, was racist. Let's pull the receipts, because you know I got it. You know I got it all the time. And this article is on my website, anthonyblogan.com. But I'm gonna pull up some things from the article. So let's go. Hold on. Here's one thing I want to put up, and then another. So check it out. Biden says right here, this is from February 1st, 2020, just last year. All right, you see it right there on the screen. Trump further diminished the U.S. in the eyes of the world by expanding his travel ban. The new African ban is designed to make it harder for black and brown people to immigrate to the U.S. It's a disgrace, and we cannot let him succeed. He said this. This is his account. You see it right there. I'm not making it up. This is on twitter.com, Joe Biden, medium.com, February 1st, 2020. Right? But now all of a sudden you want to ban African countries from coming over here to contain the bug. But when Trump said, hey, let's slow this China travel down because we got to contain the bug, everyone saw that the epicenter of this thing was Wuhan. Everybody saw it. We saw the videos on social media, people passing out, spraying out blood. We saw all that happening in Wuhan, China, like 2019. We saw it at the end of 2019. But by that time, it was already here. If we're seeing videos on the internet from China, which is pretty controlled as far as things get in and out, if we're seeing videos like that all over the internet of blood spraying out of some random guy on a subway train, by that time it's already here because of the way that air travel works. I know guys that were getting sick back in 2019 that live like right Georgia, and because of the international airport right there in Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson. So I know guys that were getting sick already. But then in 2020, like right around March, Trump was like, all right, this is getting out of hand. Let's ban the Chinese travel. What did Nancy Pelosi say? Oh, that's racist. That's xenophobic. Hey, go to Chinatown. It's all good. Don't worry about what Trump says. He's a racist. Same thing with Joe Biden. Same thing with Chuck Schumer. Same thing with all of them. But now they're doing the exact same thing he did for the exact same reason. But they didn't want to say that Trump is a moron. He doesn't know what he's doing. Apparently, he did a very good job what he was doing. Apparently, he gave you the blueprint. How you going to attack the man for doing a thing? Then you do it. You copy what he did, basically. Hold on. I'm going to try to find this. I'm going to try to find the specific one where Biden was talking about. Hold on. Here's an article from, what's this? Boston Globe. Trump's xenophobic travel ban punishes Americans above all. Xenophobic. So it's like, come on, what are we even doing here? Everybody knows now Trump was doing a good job, and people are starting to have regrets that they voted for Joe Biden, or if they hated Trump, they want him back. They want Trump back, of course. They want him back because they know that what he was doing made sense. It made perfect sense, but they don't want to admit it. Matter of fact, hold on. I think there's a different. Yeah, I got a picture somewhere. I'm gonna put that up right quick. So y'all hang tight for a moment. But they all said the same thing, and here we are being proven right. And the craziest thing is that this is not even this is not a variant to be concerned about. There's no pandemic in Africa. You know, they were just talking about, when I say they, I mean actual doctors, not these TV doctors that they try to pair out in front of you to make you think that you need to get the shot. But a lot of doctors, even some of the more TV doctors, were talking about Africa and why there's no pandemic there. I was reading Twitter, and shout out to Zuby Music. He was saying that he has family back in Nigeria that don't even believe in this bug because they keep hearing about it for the past 2 years, but they've never seen it. So, okay, where's this big bug at? Where's this big scary bug? You say it's here, but I've not seen it in the past 2 years. And they're not highly vaxxed in Nigeria. Ain't no vax campaign in Nigeria. Same thing with Haiti. Have we forgotten about Haiti? Did we forget about Haiti? We saw them when it came to the border in mass, but have we forgotten that they are the least vaxxed country on planet Earth? Before the president died, they had a 0% vax rate. Zero. Nobody had it on the island, on their part of the island, pardon me. Nobody had the vax in Haiti. Zero. Was there a big pandemic? Was that going on? I mean, if there was, I can't tell. And they travel like, they may not travel a lot, but there's tourist locations. DR's right there. A lot of Haitians go to DR to work on some of the resorts with Americans on it. So why wasn't no pandemic there? Maybe this whole thing ain't really working the way we think. Maybe there are certain things that we know that cause you to really get sick that we're not really paying attention to as a nation. We know what's going on. We know how to prevent what's happening. Don't be 800 pounds. Don't be the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, maybe. And don't get the shot. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying don't get it. That's just my opinion. Don't nobody try to flag me. I'm just saying. If you live in a nation without a bunch of obese people and without a bunch of vax people, and on top of that, they're taking stuff like HCQ and IVM over the counter, maybe that'd be a good case study for how to combat this thing, right? Some are going to say, well, in Africa, they're living in rural areas. They're living in the jungle. Ain't no jungle. Like, have you ever seen Lagos, Nigeria? You talking about like Slumdog Millionaire, pat like sardines, but yet there ain't no big outbreak of the bug. Why? Maybe they don't weigh 1,000 pounds each. Maybe that's it. Maybe they go out, they get the sun, vitamin D. Imagine that. Imagine living in a tropical area, being outside a lot and getting sun, vitamin D. I don't know. I feel like what's happening right here in America is just a big money grab. They're trying to get money. Pfizer trying to get money. You got the guy, Scott Gottlieb. He was the head of the FDA, and now he's on the board of Pfizer. Is that a coincidence? I'm talking about, it wasn't like he was on the FDA a long time ago, many moons ago. He went directly from the FDA to Pfizer. It was like, okay, one day, the head of the FDA, the next day I'm on the Pfizer board. On the 21st, I'm at FDA. On the 22nd, I'm at Pfizer. That's how I went with, what's his name? Scott Gottlieb, whatever. Scott something. Scott Pocket Watcher, I don't know his name. But that's all it's about. It's a money grab. And then on top of that, you got to be body positive, right? You can't tell somebody, hey, man, you weigh as much as a 7-year-old elephant. You weigh as much as a piano falling, like in the cartoons. You might want to do something about that. Oh, you can't say that. That's offensive. Like, just that joke right there would be offensive to somebody. Somebody might get offended. Oh, ABL was joking about fat people. It's like, hey, man, get it together, man. It's about your life. Like, I could just say, stay fat and go ahead and just keel over. But I care about you guys. So if you weigh that much, I'm not saying you got to be looking like Arnold or, Mr. Olympia, but good night, man. If you weigh the size of 3 people, 3 big adults, you might want to tighten that up. That's one of the biggest things. 80% of those who've been hospitalized are obese or overweight. So get that straight. It should be a wake-up call. If somebody said, hey, man, you know what? You weigh too much to live till tomorrow. If you begin to lose weight right now and get down to X weight, you'll live. That's the severity of what I'm trying to say. But I digress. The whole point is, this ain't nothing but a big money grab. And it's all kind of political stuff involved with it. You can't even name the new bug strain Z because you got a president named Z and he going to get offended. And you can't talk about people being fat because that's against body positivity. And you can't talk about certain drugs because Big Pharma got their hand in the government's pocket. They bought and paid for. And the TV going to tell you a certain thing to push their political narrative. And because Trump said that this thing works, you can't say that Trump is right. You got to go against what he says, at least for a while. Then you go do the exact same thing that he says, especially when you can make money on it because you got this pill coming out, which will probably be the same exact thing that Trump was talking about 2 years ago. But anyway, I'll move on. I will move on. I promise. All right. Yeah, please live. Mandatory salads. You know what? Just mandatory stop eating. Mandatory no forks. No fork movement. Put the fork down. Put it down. Put the fork down. You know what I mean? I think, hold on. I saw this diagram. This is a very good thing that we got to see. I think that a lot of things are going to change when this becomes more of a reality. It's here right now, but not quite. We still got a lot of creature comforts, and we're still in a very good country, the best country on planet Earth. We're still in the best country, so this is not quite where we are, but it's happening very soon. All right, so check it out. Look, here's a good diagram. This is perfect. The political map, you see the authoritarian left, right, etc., libertarian left, right. So when you are in hard times, you are a leftist and authoritarian. Think Germany. Okay, that's World War II Germany. That's them right there. They want to say that the funny mustache guy, they want to say that he was a right-wing conspiracy. No. He wasn't a right-wing person. He was a left-wing person. That whole government was very left-wing. Papers, please, trying to expand, all in your business, neighbor against neighbor. Sound familiar? California, right? Okay. Abortion was very legal, very legal. A lot of killing going on. That is far left and authoritarian. Hard times. But out of the hard times come strong men. Okay. Still having some authoritarian, but not so ridiculously all in your business, right? Because we're strong men, we're able to govern ourselves, we're able to control ourselves. We don't need to have these hard times and some kind of disastrous, evil thing to come in and kind of correct it. You see what I'm saying? We don't need to have these hard times and bad things because we're coming out of that. We're strong. But strong men create great environments. Everything is comfortable. Everything's all good. You don't got to worry about nothing, right? The 1960s, good times, like the good times roll. Everybody's partying, having a good time. The American dream is living. Everybody got a dog, white picket fence, 2.5 kids. It's all beautiful. But then from the good times, there's nothing to really make you kind of like challenge yourself or challenge anyone else. There's no challenge there. So out of the good times comes weak men. And then you got a lot of liberal stuff, and they want to try to find causes, and they want to try to control, and they want to try to fill their life with the thing that they don't have because they're weak. They're not as strong as their forefathers, as their grandfathers and whatnot. So when they feel like, you know what, we want to have society the way we want to have it because we're weak, we're not really strong leaders, we're going to go into the hard times again. There's a cycle. That's the cycle, in my opinion. So how I feel about that? Is that accurate? Is that inaccurate? I think the cycle is accurate. Now, as far as a political thing, that's up for debate. But the cycle is most certainly accurate. We've said that on this channel before, as far as strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. And then the cycle continues. It is always like that. It's always like that. Right? LeBron's in the green, hilarious. LeBron is in the green. He most certainly is. And that's a great segue, by the way. I can't read your name right now, whoever said that, but that's a great segue. LeBron James is in the green of that particular diagram. And let's go ahead and bring him up right quick because this man, like, for no reason, got a fan kicked out. Like, I don't even know. This guy, I don't like LeBron. I don't like him because basketball-wise, he's great. Basketball-wise, he's great. One of the best ever to do it. Top 5, really. Just from a straight basketball point of view, he's fantastic. But his character, personally, I don't like. So just to tee this clip up, he's playing a game. I guess Indiana Pacers. I think they won this game in overtime. Lakers did. LeBron's team. So some people were on the and some floor seats. I guess they were saying some rude things, some mean things to LeBron. So he goes over there with the ref and points him out. He snitches on him.
Call it what you want. What is LeBron looking for? Oh.
Sorry for the cussing, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later as well.
We got a fan that's got a little unruly, and LeBron is pointing it out to the official.
And they're booing because they're in Indiana, of course. So he's pointing at Indiana fans in Indiana, and they don't like LeBron. It's just, see, you kind of see what's going on here.
And what they're going to do is they're going to put them out. I don't know. Clearly, I wouldn't know what they said. They're on the other side of the court, but they're putting them out.
Her reaction is hilarious. You see her face. She's kind of like doing the pouty girl. And the guy that she's with is laughing because he knows what's going on. And then watch. She's kind of like doing like the little, the crying fist on her face. Hilarious. But LeBron, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, why even do something like that? What do you do? Why do that? Like, did they throw something on the court? What is you playing basketball? I mean, you might have some people that say some crazy things. I understand. Okay. They say crazy things or whatever, but you guys go on the court and do the exact same thing to each other. LeBron had just got ejected for fighting somebody on the court, or like he punched him and made his eye bleed. And he tried to like do it passively. Like they're trying to box out for the rebound, right? After a missed free throw or something. And he did it to where he thought he could be kind of like boxing out, getting a little bit of space, but he swung his arm real fast, hit the guy in the face and made him bleed. And then the guy trying to fight him, and it became a whole big thing. LeBron got a 1-game suspension. Another guy got 2 games, and he got fined for that, if I'm not mistaken. Then he was grabbing his stuff, doing the beak nuts dance. It was like, man, what are you doing? This guy and cussing, I don't understand. It's like, look, you know that there's microphones in the stadium. You know they can hear you. Why are you cursing? For what, though? And it's not like he does it. It's not a natural thing for him to be cursing. Because when he first came in the league, you didn't hear him curse. He was pretty buttoned up, tied up. He didn't do too much of that. But now it's like, I got to be cool, down with the culture. I'm going to say MF this, F that. Why? Just see, Jordan didn't do that. This is a big part of the reason why LeBron will never be Jordan, as I kind of go off on a tangent. Jordan always had a squeaky clean image, always. Now, he probably was worse off the court as far as his personal life than LeBron James. I could almost guarantee. But on the court, squeaky clean, always. In front of a camera, always clean, always articulate, not doing too much nonsense, always. LeBron, never. Jordan, strong under pressure. LeBron, weak under pressure. So the guy, I don't know. I don't understand what was the whole point of snitching. I never seen any of the guys from the 90s tell on somebody in the stands because they said some mean words. I mean, come on, man. Y'all basketball players, y'all big tough guys. Come on, stop. Stop it. But anyway, thank you for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're listening to me on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating, a review, whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate it. And we got a whole lot happening here. Did I get to all the topics today? I got to the new bug, that the travel ban. You got to appreciate Biden. Oh, now I think I might show this. Okay, have you guys seen that case in Texas? I'm gonna try to show it without showing it, if you understand what I mean. So this is a guy getting deleted, but I won't show the deletion. I'm gonna talk about the whole thing that led up to it. And this is a real case. When I saw this, and before I get into my reaction when I first saw it, what happened here is a dad came to get his son from the son's mother, probably ex-wife or something like that. The son wasn't there, probably at the grandma's house, and then the ex-wife is not really being cooperative, I suppose. And the new boyfriend is there. He's not liking his tone, so the new boyfriend goes to get the rifle. Okay, so that's kind of how that whole thing goes down. Now, when I first saw it, I was like, this appears to be fake, because when the guy gets deleted, ultimately, nobody was really screaming. Nobody was really crying. Nobody seemed too concerned. And it was not just them two there. You had somebody in the truck with the father trying to get the son. You had the ex-wife there. You had the boyfriend there. So I'm just like, what's going on here? It seemed kind of fake, but there's an actual article where they said it's real. And the guy that shot the guy is married, of course, right? Now, follow me. The guy that shot the guy is married, but he's also the boyfriend of the ex-wife. Anyway, he's married to a judge, so there's not been an arrest just yet. Okay? So we on the same page? Now, hopefully, there won't be too much cussing here. So y'all, if you got little kids, just cover their ears right quick. And I promise I will not show him getting deleted. I'm going to just kind of skip on past that part when they get to it.
Where's my son? I don't have your son.
So you heard the pop. At that point, he's deleted. And he's on the ground pretty much just, and that was it. Right? You see him right there on the ground. It's over. Now, that's one clip. Then there's another one. The music is killing me. I gotta turn that off. So the sound may not necessarily be needed. Hold on. Matter of fact, there is sound needed because he's talking to her.
I'm supposed to have him at 3:15. And you're playing games telling me that I can pick him up at 6. I'm going to have the cups. I've already got the cups on the way to your mom's house. Because that's probably where he is. It's not when I'm done working. I get him at 3:15.
You know what? I'm checking it. Like, I'm going to just pause right here. I don't have any kids, but I've been here. I've been here in this kind of situation with, your parents arguing or something like that. Check it out. If that's you, if you in the two and you arguing like that with your ex-wife, just don't, because you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. Your son's not there. If you want to call the police, do that. But you trying to argue is not going to end. It won't end well for you, especially when you got a new boyfriend there and you don't know him. You don't know where he comes from. Just don't do it.
I get him at 3:15. I don't care if you wanted to see him or not. I get him at 3:15. If you want to see him, you see him up until 3:15. You keep trying to keep my son from me. I'm fixing to drag you and Anne-Marie and everybody else into court. I'm subpoenaing your mom. I'm subpoenaing Anne-Marie. This is on video. I'm very I am. Leave! Do it! Right now! You gotta fucking...
So now, okay, the guy goes into the house and gets the rifle. And he threatens the father with it. Now, see, I'm not sure if that's self-defense. The argument is self-defense, but I'm not really sure. That is going to be a legal question because the father did not present any kind of weapon, any kind of pistol, or nothing like that. He's just arguing with the ex-wife about his son, you see. And then the new boyfriend goes and escalates it and brings in the weapon. But as of right now, there's been no arrest. Maybe I'm wrong as far as any kind of update, but last I heard, there's been no arrest and no charges. So I think he was successfully able to say self-defense, but is it really? I don't know. Okay, let's turn that down. Sorry for RP headphone users. So now they're arguing over the blunt. I'll take it from you, X, Y, and Z. So they're face to face, and he has a gun. Now, if you are in a situation where a guy is right up on you, telling you to leave, he has a gun out, you're not going to do yourself any kind of favors by trying to stay there and act like, what's happening right here is that he's worked up. You've been arguing, worked up. I'm a tough guy. Where's my son? You got to think. Think, calm down and think. I don't want to lose my life right here. My son needs me to be the actual father. Let me just fall back. Get the police involved to do something because right here you're not going to win.
Call 911. Call 911.
So he shot at his foot as a warning shot, but he didn't shoot him. So he tries to grab the weapon. It doesn't work. So then he spins around, squares up, deletes him. No charges as of yet. Now, Let's talk about it, though. Let's talk about it. If this were a racially involved situation, you would know about that. You would know about it, and it'd be all kind of things talking about that was murder. You shouldn't have brought a weapon out there. But because it's, white on white in Lubbock, Texas, who cares, right? After the guy gets killed, nobody seems concerned. It was really weird. I'm going to try to play that part without playing the actual part of him getting killed.
I have it on video, Kyle. You did it, not him.
I told all of y'all to leave.
We came to get his son.
He's not here.
She should have told that. She should have told.
And the ex-wife was just like right there, like ain't nothing going on, just recording. It's so weird. That's why when I saw it, I was like, this got to be fake. This has got to be fake. This man is dead right here on the ground, or dying at least. Ain't nobody calling the police. Ain't nobody really, what's going on here? Ain't nobody really kind of just, it's blaming. So yeah, that situation was crazy. But my advice to anybody that's in a situation, you get to be arguing and stuff like that, it's not even going to work. It's no point. It's a fruitless endeavor. Don't do it. Walk away. You might be right, and that's fine. But guess what? It don't even matter. It doesn't even matter, because now you gone. It was crazy. Yeah, the chickens in the background were crazy, right? There was one chicken that came across the front of the screen, like toward the beginning. It came across the front of the screen. But yeah, so you guys say murder, self-defense. I'm not sure how they're gonna say self-defense, because there was no gun involved in the very beginning. He did not pose an actual threat. He was just having an argument. But that guy, I mean, if that was a racially involved case, that guy with the black would be in the penitentiary for the rest of his life. He would never come home. He would never come home. Now, imagine that case, no charges filed, but Kyle Rittenhouse was in jail for 3 months, had a $2 million bail, brought up with all kind of charges when it was clearly self-defense. This guy ran away from them. They chased him and shot him, or tried to shoot him. And he shot back and he won. He succeeded in deleting them, and then they tried to put him in the joint forever. If not for the videotape, they may have won. If not for the videotape, they may have been able to get that. So we'll see. It wasn't a shotgun. That was a rifle. So now that wasn't a shotgun. That was a rifle. I could tell by just the way. Hold on. It was a Ruger PC carbine. Yeah, so it's like a pistol, basically. I guess like an AR pistol. I'm not really sure. Did it cross state lines? Is hilarious. But yeah, RIP to that guy though. I ain't trying to be totally just making jokes, because that guy actually did die. So RIP to him. But we see that certain cases activate some people in America, some of these leftist people, some of these organizations that happen to be so anti-gun, and some don't. White guy killing white guy over a white kid. So what? Who cares, right? White guy kills white guys because there was a BLM rally happening at the same time. Okay, activate. Black guy kills white guy for any reason whatsoever. Activate. Black guy kills white guy. Nobody cares. A black guy killing a white guy is the same as a white guy killing a white guy. Who cares? That's unfortunately where we are. The only ones who care are going to be their friends and family, if they care. And apparently, judging by that, they don't even really care that much. But I digress. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy the show, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we have super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those right quick before we get to the calls. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's get to the supers that were somewhere else, and then we get to the other ones. So let's go over here. What's the day? The 27th. And let's go to Thank you to Hudson Jackson II, who says, long time no see. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I did. Absolutely. A lot of good food. By the way, it was great to see you dropping on the Free Agent Lifestyle podcast recently. Yeah, shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Yeah, I saw that particular clip on his stream. So I wanted to give my 2 cents on the whole situation. He said it perfectly. I couldn't say it no better. You know, some of what I said is what he said. He said it very well about the whole case in Texas with the guy and his ex-wife arguing. Like, my whole point with that is just don't do it. You're not going to win. I've never really seen an argument where a man is doing that to a woman end well. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen an argument like that where this is going on, where she's like, you know what? You have a great point. I didn't think about it like that. I'll do better next time. That doesn't happen. Just stop. Thank you to Apple, who says, FBI deep state stooges rated a Colorado mom evil. For what, though? She's in the kitchen making PB&J sandwiches. Then all of us, here come the Gestapo, beat down the door. Put the peanut butter down right now. Where's all the MAGA stuff at? That's kind of what's going on with the federales nowadays, unfortunately. Thank you to Apple, who says, defund the evil FBI, can't stop Waukesha murderer. Yeah, wasn't he on their radar already? Because I think that might have been some kind of federal crime. So that means he was on their radar. But it's like the FBI always get tips of a guy that could be doing something wrong, could be a very dangerous person, and they just kind of drop the ball. Nothing really happens. But they can be very proactive and preventative when it comes to, political stuff, but not for anything else for some reason. Thank you to Apple, who says, RIP, 6 victims of Waukesha, 5 grandparents, 1 child. Yes, RIP, very sad. Ian Kenny said, missed your live stream on Wednesday, but caught the playback. Just an FYI in regards to the Rittenhouse bill. We don't have bail bondsmen in Wisco. Bill has to be paid 100%. Oh, okay. Got you. So that 2%, so that $2 million bill had to be paid in full to bond out. Got you. Thank you for that. Shout out to Ian Kenny, who says, so Trump was a racist xenophobe for doing the China travel ban at the start of the pandemic, scandemic, yet Biden is cool for a South Africa travel ban. If not for double standards, they would have no standards. they would have no standards on the left, of course. Thank you to Jonathan Morgenstern for your donation. Thank you to Armin for your donation. Thank you to Slayer Mill, who says, FBI, Congress, and the Federal Reserve. Which one would you reform? Which one would you disband? And which one would you leave how it is? These are your only options, and you can't use the same answer more than once. Oh, man. Because you know what I want to do is disband all of them. But if I had to pick, okay, if I had to be responsible and say disband, reform, hold on, and leave how it is, okay. Leave how it is, I would say Congress. Leave how it is. Because with Congress, the thing with Congress is that you can change it through voting. You see what I'm saying? So although I would like to reform it at the bare minimum, you can change it through voting. Now, the federales, I'd reform because there are some good federal agents out there, a lot of good guys out there and girls. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad ones and there's very bad leadership. So I would reform the federales. Now, the Federal Reserve got to go all the way because that's not working at all. And if I could throw the IRS in there for good measure, disband them too. Disband the Fed, disband the IRS, all this money stuff is just so stupid, so ridiculous. All these laws making no sense. The tax stuff, I mean, don't get me started. Don't get my blood pressure boiling like a frog in some water. But anyway, I'll move on. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, you rather get rid of gravy than communism? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Matter of fact, hold on. You follow me on my Twitter. I'm gonna put this up right quick for you guys. I'll put this up for you guys because this is one of these one guy to go, and you can debate amongst yourselves. This is more of a Thanksgiving meme. And for you guys that can't see it, it says eliminate one. There's a picture of 9 things, food related, but also not. Number 1, turkey. Number 2, rolls. Number 3, mashed potatoes. Number 4, mac and cheese. Number 5, stuffing. Number 6, pies. 7, communism. 8, ham. And number 9, gravy. Now, obviously, the, I guess, correct answer would be communism, because who wants that, right? But that gravy, man, I don't like gravy. So, I mean, if somebody said, hey, if somebody just said, gun to my head, pick one, gravy or communism, it's going to be a hard decision. I don't like gravy at all. It tears my stomach up. It makes the food soggy. It's not good. I don't like it. Throw all the gravy in the world away. If you like gravy, that's fine, but I can't do nothing with it. So communism, hey man, I might be hungry, but I ain't eating no gravy. I tell you that. If I'm starving to death, I don't want no gravy. So if I'm under communism and I have no more nutrients in my body, give me a dirt rock rather than some gravy. But I'll move on. All right. So let's go to some more supers here. Thank you to Fauna Faye, who says, shout out to the Salvation Army for letting that racism flag fly. I thought they were Christian and for everybody. Shaking my head, the times we live in. Yeah, I mean, it's weak men create hard times. That's really just what it is. If I see you out there ringing that bell, I'd be like, hey man, might as well just keep on make a whole album while you out here. I'm not putting nothing in that kettle. Apple says, how was Thanksgiving ABL? It was good, Thanksgiving. A lot of good food. Still got something in there, punishing it. Apple also says, blessing ABL for a safe journey to Arizona. Oh, yeah, can't wait. Gonna be a lot of fun. And you guys know I'll be in Arizona. I'll be there like most of the week, a big part of the week. But the event is on Tuesday, November 30th. So that's this coming Tuesday, November 30th in Gilbert, Arizona, which is right there by Phoenix. For you guys that know, you know. Let me see. Hudson Jackson II says, I figured Uganda would lose their airport. These loans are always set up so that African countries end up losing. How long will it be before Uganda also loses the Kampala and Entebbe Expressway? They probably don't have it right now. Who knows? That's a good question, though. It's really unfortunate. Thank you to Apple, who says, have fun at B. Tatum's boot launch party, which I was there. Also, am I going to live stream on Wednesday, December the 1st in Arizona? I may. I have my equipment. Well, some of my equipment. It may be kind of a lower end stream, but I'll try to do something out there. Thank you to Arena Kali, who says the best in the world. Thank you for that. Thank you to Free Like Summer, who says stack silver, guys. The hashtag silver squeeze is coming. Eric Burns Marsh says Lyme disease is named for a wasp town in Connecticut. Is proof of critical rash theory. Hilarious. Thank you to Jedi 2 Billion, who says, hey, ABL, I think this whole lockdown mandate stuff will ever end. Or do I think it will ever end? Feeling down because of this madness, especially if it gets to USA. We got to wake up. Now, other parts of the world, they're not going to end this lockdown madness. They're not going to end it. They're not. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're vaxxed, unvaxxed. And it's kind of sad because I think we all saw it coming for certain parts of the world. They thought that if they get the vax, that there'd be no more masks and no more lockdowns and the virus would go away. I heard a guy say that if you put the mask on, the virus will go away. I mean, talk about not knowing how viruses work. The virus ain't going nowhere. The common cold ain't going nowhere. The flu ain't going nowhere. It's not going to go anywhere. So this whole thing with the mask, I mean, you be wearing that forever. But anyway, it won't go away in certain places because they comply with what's going on ultimately. And there's no states. Like in certain countries, you got the country and that's it. There's no states with individual rights like that. But here where in the USA, where we all live, if you are in America right now, we got states. So if California is looking like China, come on over to Texas. As long as you're not a crazy liberal, come to Tennessee. You can leave. You have the right to leave. But that's not always true depending upon where you live in the world. You're not always free to leave your own home, let alone your own country. But I digress. basically what I'm saying is we have freedom over here in America, and that freedom is enabling us to not have to deal with lockdowns. We can move around. Thank you to Apple, who says, God bless January 6th, MAGA Patriots in DC jail solitary. Also, Patriot Freedom Project at Julie Kelly 2 support. And also ABL, when you on a plane, you read, sleep, eat, post. On a plane, what I normally do is sleep or watch a movie. Not too much reading. I've read sometimes. I have books on the plane, but normally I watch a movie because I don't have that much time normally to watch movies. So I would do that. Netflix, maybe something like that, but I've not done that in a long time. Usually a movie. Shout out to Portlamp, who says there's a book called The Fourth Turning. It goes even further into generational archetypes and the cycles of weak men to tough men every 80 years. Well, makes sense to me. I got to pick it up. That'd be a good plain book right there, The Fourth Coming. Also, Apu says, ABL favorite pub game, billiards or foosball or darts? Billiards, definitely 100% playing pool all day long. Mr. Pika Maju says he's at the end of his career. He's looking to be an SJW. He's looking for a legacy. Just like Colin Kaepernick, right? Oh, I understand. I get it. And he wants Bronny to come in there and play while he's also in the NBA. You pass the torch, do a little documentary. It's just so contrived and corny. I like things that happen organically and naturally, not to where it's like this instant gratification. It just seems so cheesy. I don't like that. I just don't like it. Thank you to Farna Faye, who says, I used to think D. Wade, Dennis Rodman, and Chris Bosh was extra feminine. Let Karen James take us to a whole new level. Pull up your skirt, B. You a man. Exactly. 100%. Apple Bacher, Apple of Daddy says, ABL on scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at bowling? I'm a good 8 out of 10 in bowling. Yeah, I was in the bowling league back in the day. I used to play duck pin bowling back in Portsmouth. Like my aunt put me in the league. I ain't want to play. I ain't want to be in the league really, but yeah. And if you play duck pin, you got the small balls with no holes in it. So I played duck pin. I played regular bowling, but I've not been in a while. But yeah, bowling. Like I'm a rhythm player. If I get my shot lined up, then I'm good. Matter of fact, I took a bowling class in college. True story, because what happened was this is why I left college, really. Because I had transferred from a community college with enough credits to have 2 more years on the 4-year college. So I go to the 4-year college and they say, you know what? Okay, your core classes do not translate as core over here. They're going to be electives. It was something weird they were trying to do, but anyway. And they said that I still needed more electives. So stupid. My core classes transfer as electives, but I still needed more electives. Physical activity. It's like, man, what are we doing? What is this? I'm not some little boy. I'm not 17. I'm like 22 years old at this point. I'm working, I'm driving, and I'm working full time. I'm driving, I'm getting money. Why do I need another elective for physical activity? I'm not 15 in high school. So I went on taking bowling because I had to take some kind of class. But I dropped out of college during that. Like I just left. I just stopped going. I was like, you know what, I'm done. And I'm glad I did. Because that was a big scam. Yes, 100% still, it was a scam. And it was kind of like in the hood too. Like if you're from Virginia Beach, it was like right there in Green Run, right there on Lynn Haven, right by TC, Twin Canal. So we're like right next to this store that they go in the store and buy cigarillos, Swisher Sweets. You got guys outside smoking weed. And it's like, you know what? Nah. You got me in the hood bowling. Why? For what? I'm paying the school to bowl to get a credit. Anyway, And I think I had to pay for it too. I forget. I think it might have been you had to pay in there. It was so dumb. But anyway, thank you to Laura Catherine who says, serve my Thanksgiving guests after dinner, coffee, and my Sir mugs. Oh, great choice. The Sir mugs, 100%. Exactly, J.A. Why do I need physical activity course in college? That's what I said. I was not given the proper answer. It was just like, well, this is what we got to do. The college was designed, if you're going to be going there like straight from your mom's house and you living on campus, but I did not live on campus. I was already getting money, about to get an apartment. I'm 22 years old. I'm old to be on campus. I did not need this at all, but that's what they wanted me to do because I needed an elective, a physical activity elective. Thank you to Just Cause who says the crime here is using the Ruger PC-9 for defense. Hey, that's all he had in the crib, I suppose. Thank you to San Francisco Live who says every time something crazy like this happens, the FBI either were involved or somewhere around, always, and did nothing to stop it at all. At all. Thank you to Steve for the Christmas tree donation. Thank you to Kristen Larson who says Ahmaud Arbery grabbed a gun and that was not self-defense. I don't think this is self-defense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think so. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Conflict Brick says, hi ABL. The new governor of NYC has declared a state of emergency because of the new variant and love the show. The variants never end. They'll flip the variants. Like they'll go all the way through from Alpha 2 Omega and right back around to Alpha, Alpha 2, Delta 2, Omicron 2, and so on. It'll never end. There's always new variants because the virus ain't going nowhere. So what's the point and keep having these state of emergency and lockdown and stuff like that? It's a political tool to get certain things accomplished. It's not for any real reason because it'll never end. It's always going to be this way. That's like having a brand new announcement for every new flu strain or every new cold strain. It'll never be ending. It'll always continue. Thank you to, what's that, IW who says, how do you feel about the Christian school displaying a picture of Jesus depicted as George Floyd? Love the content. Let's go, Brandon. Thank you for that. That was crazy to have George Floyd depicted as Jesus. I think I showed that last time, but let me see if I can find it right quick. I just don't understand like the whole purpose. I don't really get it. You know. So you guys see what's going on right there. Hold on. Do it that way. I just don't really get it. It's like, why? For what though? And you know what? They say that the right, oh, you guys are idol worshiping. You guys had a golden statue of Trump at CPAC, all this and that and the third. Meanwhile, you have George Floyd as Jesus. I mean, stop it. Just please stop. It's crazy. And they act like that for real though. They act like that for real. That's how they see people like George Floyd. That's the truth of how they feel. So that's probably why they did that, because they feel that way inside in an honest sense. Thank you to ABL's my hero for the donation. ABL's my hero. I don't know. You got these people that leave like troll comments, but they're your biggest fans. It's weird. I don't know. It's kind of strange. But you guys are the best audience anywhere on the net. Please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We're going to get into the calls right now. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And we're going to get into it. Don't call me trolling because I will call the federales on you. But they ain't going to show up for trolling. But if I said that somebody was talking about going to the Capitol with a bucket of paint, they'd be out here full force with 1,000 cars. I know that for a fact. All right, let's make sure everything's good over here. Okay. Let's get to the first call. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, my brother from another mother. How you doing?
It's all good. About yourself?
Oh, if I was doing any better, Connecticut would probably pass laws against it.
No doubt.
You know, it's Democrat controlled. They're not allowed to have a good time of any kind.
Right.
Anyway, I wish you a safe trip out there with B. Tatum and my spirit animal, Jericho Green. I want that T-shirt. I'm serious. I want a picture of Jericho Green. It says Jericho Green is my spirit animal. But let's see. I said when this virus first came out, because it come out of the Wuhan weapons lab, because, you know, when I was in the military, I trained for nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons, survival and operating in those environments. Some people got more training than other people, but everybody got standardized minimum training of how to operate in those environments for at least 8 hours a year.
Right.
But anyhow, what I said a year ago was that China wants and I've said it before on the show, China wants the continent of Africa.
Yes.
They just don't want the people there.
Correct.
And Laoway 86 came out with a video a couple weeks ago, said exactly what I said a year ago, that they are trying to engineer a virus by genetic markers of race to exterminate certain populations of land they want. That's why when they were giving out the free COVID tests,
yeah,
you know, at the start, I said that so China can collect biological DNA data on everyone to separate and that he comes out. He's got people, him and Serpent-Zeta got people in China, you know, because Serpent-Zeta is an IT wizard, and he left China and set up VMPs all around the world and then went back. And that's how he was able to get out. Because I traveled to the Philippines. Well, I used to travel to the Philippines every year for a month at a time because my wife is Filipino and my kids are half Filipino, you know, because I'm such a racist. And, you know, so October 8th, we were actually in Beijing, China of 2019. And there were 4 times the amount of military security that there were passengers. Literally 4 times the amount. They were not pleasant. They were rude. It was like going through Nazi Germany when you read the diaries. And that's what I like about you. You're like me. You watch tons of videos. You do tons of reading. It's like Hillary Clinton, Zelensky, Saul Zelensky, book Rules for Radicals.
Yeah.
Hillary was like one of his little groupies, you know, on how to disrupt the American government. And that's their playbook. That's what they're doing. They're trying to break the economy. Biden's, I saw Biden at Chucklehead, you know, on TV. Can you explain the supply chain? Can you explain it? Okay. High school dropout here. Supply chain. You shut down the pipeline. You increase the gas of oil. You shut down production. You paid people not to stay home. Now the truck drivers can't afford to buy fuel to make money, to make their truck payments. They can make more money sitting home on unemployment. So you got a backlog of supplies. Not bad. I also have a degree from the National Aviation Academy where I graduated with a 4.0 while living homeless in my pickup truck. So there's that, you know. Even though I'm a high school dropout, you know, it doesn't mean I'm stupid. Just means regular school was just boring.
Right.
Just too boring. And they're deliberately making kids dumb. I all the time. My kids are not dumb. I won't allow that because I see what they're learning in school. And fortunately, they're not teaching them the CRT yet. Because I told them, I said, the minute you start that critical racist training, I will start homeschooling my kids. There will be you're not going to teach my kids that, I mean, they're half Asian, half white? Are they oppressors or depressed oppressors?
Right.
And my thing was, this lady started talking. I said, hold on a second, ma'am. Do you have written permission from your white oppressor to talk to me? If not, be quiet. And she just glared at me. I said, hey, this is your game. Isn't this how it's played? I don't know the rules here. I thought we were all supposed to be equal and have the same opportunities, but, you guys come up with these stupid games. Anyhow, it's your playground. I'm just trying to swing on the swing.
There you go.
Throw it back to them in a way it's irritating. So, anyway, brother, that's all I got, really. Love your show. The guy shouldn't have brought the gun out. My wife, she left, but the kids live with me. I got a 12-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son, and I told my wife, I said, you want to leave, that's fine, but you bring another man around my daughter, and we're going to have a serious problem.
I hear you.
That's my little girl there.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't going to happen. That girl she's a good girl. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She's smart. And, oh, my God, sings like an angel. She'll be singing along with the radio, and a chill will go up my spine, literally. In a couple of days, I'll be unbanned off Facebook for a couple of days till they ban me again. But I want you to know that I made memes of you. You're the top picture, and it says, this is an American. And then I took a picture of a black criminal and said, this is an American.
There you go.
And I did that for Jericho Green and B. Tatum, and I like making memes.
no doubt, man. But hey, man, thank you
Anyhow, that's all I got for you.
Thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate it.
God bless you, ABL. Love you.
All right, now
You take care, brother. Have a safe trip.
All right, appreciate it. All righty. Shout out to y'all. You guys are great. Let's get to a few more here. Let's go 253 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name is Marie.
All righty. What's going
on, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Well, I had a couple of questions about the Ahmaud Arbery case, if you'd be willing to discuss that a little bit.
Okay.
Well, so this is one of the main things that I've ever disagreed with you on. I watch your videos regularly, but in this case, particularly, it seems that a lot of conservative types have been propping this case up as to show that the justice system works really well. And I'm nervous about propping this up in that way because it seems that the only difference between this entire scenario being legal for those three guys is the fact of the citizen arrest part, which, as far as I know, was a very old law, and it was incredibly difficult for the judge and all the lawyers in the room to even interpret. So I think that propping this up as a case that the justice system works would basically be advocating for more state power as opposed to the rights of citizens to be able to protect their community. Because from what we've seen, these guys had worked with the police. They got a description of the guy. They saw him, confronted him, and then as far as they knew, they were doing a legal citizen's arrest in which at that point it became a mutual self-defense situation where Arbery attacked them and, he defended himself. And the third guy, I'm just completely clueless on because he was a journalist of the situation, basically, with him being, recording the situation, and he's going to life in prison. So I don't know I don't know why we're propping this up as something that's good.
All right, so here's the problem though. Here's the issue. I think it might have been Travis or Gregory McMichael who said that they didn't actually see him do anything. They thought that it could be him, the guy that was spotted before, but they didn't really know.
Correct.
So
yeah. So
wait.
Oh, okay.
Now the whole thing is, since they didn't know if it was even him, number one, then they got to be able to have seen him do something when they were trying to do the arrest, but they didn't. And then before this even happened, before the judge made his ruling recently, I said it last year. I said that it had to have been a felony offense that they caught him doing. A felony offense. Now, what he was doing that day was like trespassing at the boat at the most, that wouldn't be no felony offense. If you get caught in the house that's under construction and you shouldn't be there, it probably won't be a charge at all. If it is a charge, it'd be trespassing. That's not a felony offense. They did not see him do any kind of felony.
Pursue it, yeah.
So from the beginning, that whole thing of the arrest wasn't even it was not on the table because it didn't meet the criteria. They just made a mistake in their citizen's arrest. Now, if they saw him do something, then they could go ahead and do that. But they didn't.
Okay. So my only distinction here is that they believed that they had probable cause because they, I guess, Arbery fit a description that they got from the police because they had discussed this with the police, and they found him in the house. And so, I mean, as far as probable cause go, I mean, does that factor in at all in your mind? Because it worries me that we're like condemning these guys, all three of them, to life in prison for a situation to where if it was done with the guy with the badge, he would have had enough probable cause to chase him down.
Well, I mean, but see, now you're talking about you're comparing apples and oranges though, because we know that a police officer has more power than a regular citizen, so you can't make that comparison. You got to compare it to citizen to citizen. They were not police officers; they were just regular people. So we can't do that. Now, as far as the law, that's all that really matters, because we can't just say I think or I feel. It has to be lawful, and what they did was not lawful. That's just the bottom line. There really ain't nothing else to it. If they did something lawful, then it's lawful. I'm turning down a little bit. If it was lawful, then it was lawful, but it wasn't. And that's all that matters, because the law is there for everyone. And that's why the system worked, because that same law can be applied to other people. We can't just apply the law when it benefits and not apply it when it does not benefit. It has to be the same all across the board. And that'd be the same thing with Cal Rittenhouse, because with Cal Rittenhouse, that was a similar situation. Like, and hear me out though. The people, what did they say in court? Oh, we thought that he shot that man in cold blood. We were trying to chase him down and arrest him. Citizen's arrest. That's what they thought, but they were wrong. So when they're chasing them down and Cal defends himself and they die, hey, I'm trying to defend myself. Y'all chasing me. Y'all thought I did a thing, but I didn't do a thing. Yeah, I shot him, but it was self-defense. You see what I'm saying? So that the law's got to work all the way.
Yes. I understand exactly what you're saying. Now, the only two things I'll bring up is that the state has been going after perceived right-wing people, correct? They're more likely to prosecute because they're not prosecuting Gage Grosskreutz for, pointing a gun at Kyle's head, right? And it was basically the same situation, except Gage Grosskreutz was the one who got shot instead of, in the case of Arbery, where he was the one who ended up on the unfortunate end of that situation. So I just I'm nervous about with them defunding the police, about us propping this up as a really good thing, because there might be situations where I'm not advocating for people to go out and pretend to be vigilantes, but there has to be some kind of responsibility for people protecting their community, especially when there's been a series of burglaries. A gun was stolen that they knew about, so they didn't know if he was armed. So they brought a gun. We have a right to keep and bear arms. And I mean, the whole situation was just really unfortunate. But I don't believe that life in prison is justified in this scenario, just for that fact.
Well, ultimately,
I mean, it wasn't. They weren't participating in a riot.
Ultimately, you have to just follow what the law says. If the law is not clear, if the law is improper, then you got to change it. You can't just, try to I thought that guy might have been. Nah, it's got to be lawful. That's it. Like that's my whole argument the whole time. I understand what you're saying about it shouldn't be, but that's fair. But that's just what it is. Now we could say that the law is improper, but I can't change it. You can't. That's just the reality of the whole situation.
Well, it's incredibly vague as it's written right now, and typically that's supposed to go to the beneficiary to benefit the defendant, not the state prosecutorial process, right? If the law is too vague and both sides are saying, hey, if we interpret it this way, it benefits us. If we interpret it this way, it benefits them, then it typically it's supposed to go to the defendant. But in this case, it didn't. And, in the future, I don't know if they're changing the law now, but with how vague it was, it could be interpreted multiple ways that we heard in court. And isn't that supposed to go to the defendants as opposed to?
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I just think that if the law is vague and it's not what people think that it should be that live there in that community, they need to petition to try to get it changed. That's really just the long and short.
Yeah.
But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Have a good one. I enjoy your channel.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, you just got to have the law changed if the law's not right. But I think the law worked the way it's supposed to work. And I think the reason why the other guy that was filming, I think the reason why he got locked up is because he was involved with the citizen's arrest. That's just what it was. Now, here's the flip side to that, though. If they saw Ahmaud Arbery stealing something in there or like breaking it, like I said before, Molotov cocktail, boom, and you hit the house, you can arrest him as a citizen and it's fine. If you're a police officer, you can arrest him just for pretty much whatever. And if he tries to fight or whatever and he messes around and, something happens, then you'd be okay in that situation, right? So let's go to the next call. Are you on line speaker 2717?
Hey, ABL, it's Moses. How you doing tonight?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm doing good. It's been a long time since I talked to you, man. It's been a very long time. So I just have two things on my mind that I just wanted to get out. I don't know if you noticed this, but have you been keeping track of the Maxwell trial that's been going on? He was one of Epstein's associates.
No, I've seen that they're going to start that pretty soon. Has it started already?
Actually, I think it started yesterday. And you know what's the funniest thing? Yesterday was the day they announced it, and yesterday is the same day as the Transformer variant was announced.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to see how that whole thing plays out. I don't really want to follow it a lot. I'll follow it occasionally during the trial, but I want to see how it ends. I want to see if she survives the trial because her compadre got deleted pretty early in the game.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's the interesting part that I saw. It's like this whole thing got announced the same time as the trial. I feel as if it's a distraction. Everybody says it's for the midterms, but the midterms is not going to happen until November of 2022. So I think this is more of a distraction of this trial because this could have major implications because, some politicians were involved with Epstein.
Absolutely. A lot of them. And not just here, but all over the world.
Exactly. And then there's one last thing I want to touch on, and then I'll let you go. I discussed with you like a long, long time ago about CNN being sold. It seems like those rumors are going to be true, and I think Discovery is going to pick it up. Now, this is two questions I want to pose to you. Let's just say CNN is sold, it's successfully sold, and they get rid of all the cast. Would you be willing to give them a chance and watch them, or you do think that the damage has been done so much that it's probably just going to fade into darkness no matter if they're bought or not?
That's a really good question. If they do a total brand revamp, I'll give them a shot for sure. And I know a lot of guys and girls that are in news and do commentary and stuff like that, people that go on Fox and Newsmax. So if any people that I know were getting calls to go on and it kind of made sense, I'd give them a shot. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I just, if I had to pay for it individually, that I would subscribe to it. I don't think so. But I would check in to see what's going on. I'd be curious at least to see what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that because I've discussed that with you, and then I noticed that. I was like, this is going to be interesting. And the person that wants to buy it said he wants to bring actual journalism back. But we'll see. But that's all I wanted to say, ABL. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and be safe when you go to Arizona. And hopefully I'll catch you then, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I give them a shot. Like if they could just tighten up, if they could get rid of everybody from top to bottom, from window to the wall. No Don Lemon, no Wolf Blitzer, no Anderson Cooper, no nobody. And matter of fact, get rid of Jeff Zucker while you're at it. Tear the whole thing down and keep the name and make it be more of a at least moderate or right centrist network. I'll rock with it. 828, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey there, ABL. I'm Debbie.
All righty. What's going on?
Thank you for taking my call.
No problem.
I wanted to tell you and your audience something about the jab. This is really not completely new news, but it's new to me. I've got family in Alberta, Canada, and a member of my family worked in the oil industry, and he lost his job last week. He was fired because he would not share his personal medical information. And you know what he was asked, if he got the jab. And the way he worded it, and other people had been wording it in that company, is I won't share my personal medical information with you. And I was told that over 1,000 people have gone that route in that industry across Canada. So that's pretty scary to me. And another family member, on another note, was traveling back into Alberta from California, and now he and his wife have had all the jabs that they were supposed to have, but they had to be tested at the border before they would let them back in. And they had to leave the testing area because the man had to go get some medication that he just desperately needed. So they were told when they got home, they had to stay in their house for 14 days. It's kind of like we're living in the twilight zone. These jabs, they work or they don't work. They work or they don't work. Who knows? This is kind of scary, and it frankly makes me sick that my family member lost his job. It was a good job. He's been there for many years, but he'll be okay. He's smart. He'll figure something out, but he needed his job, but he was not willing to go that route. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what they're doing to people. And I think that ultimately they're going to have there's going to be an even bigger problem with staff shortage, and they're not going to be able to make it up, especially not with competent staff. They may be able to get some fillers to come in there, but they're going to have a really big staff shortage. That's going to be a serious problem. So I think if more people start to kind of kick back against this and say, no, we're not going to do this, we're not going to get these shots, we're not going to allow you to just peer into our personal lives and know our information, then they'll have to relent. I think I saw that in Virginia at the shipbuilding, Newport News Shipbuilding and Huntington Ingalls. They are not going to enforce the vax mandate because so many guys just quit, or they threatened to quit, or they walked off and they called off. And that labor is hard labor. People don't really want to do it. It's cold. It's wet. Stuff is heavy. So when people just say we're not going to do it en masse, then people start to companies respond that way.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty serious when you don't have people working in the oil industry to get the oil from point A to point B.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you said, that's highly specialized. So I just wanted to let you know, and thank you for everything you do. I enjoy your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah, definitely. Lawsuits as well. 876 Van Red. Yes, lawsuits, all that. But the main thing is just non-compliance on a massive scale. That'll really get things going, in my opinion. 225, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Mark in Louisiana.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, all right, can you hear me better now? Okay. I wanted to get to the point of the virus. and they say that it's been tuned into different blood types and genetic sequences because of the collection of all these DNA samples that China has possession of, and now they're able to tune the virus. It may attack fat people more because there's more body mass to indicate whether or not that's the person it's tuned to attack. And if this is the case, it's definitely a weapon by them. And maybe it's just something they're using to try to take over the rest of the world or weaken the rest of the world to fall to their whims. Look at all the money they put into Australia and all these investigations that Australia had before, trying to figure out which one of their politicians were paid off by China. And now you go there, you look at what's going on, and it's like China's being run by Australia is being run by China in the Chinese fashion, and the people there don't realize it.
Oh, absolutely. That's 100% correct. But that's part of what China tries to do. They try to they try to exert power and influence over countries, and before you know it, the country is doing pretty much everything that China would do because they have so much power and influence. Money's involved.
Without even putting troops there. They're using money and influence as weapons. And they don't even have to invade and airdrop people onto the continent of China. They'll get what they want by paying off all the right politicians, just like they've been doing here.
Exactly. It's a strategy, and it's working for them, so they keep on doing it. And then they also have social media, TikTok, that's China. So whatever they want to allow through TikTok, that'll get into your kids' mind. They're feeding them propaganda, all kind of stuff about how great China is, how great Xi Jinping is. It's a whole big thing that they're doing. They don't have to.
And staging events here for media consumption all over the world to make us look like crap.
Yeah, right on. That's what they do.
Yep. All right. I just wanted to get that out there, brother. I love you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate
Keep doing what you're doing.
All righty.
Bye.
Yeah, China, they pretty much do whatever. It's a new strategy. Ain't no point like the old school movies with, you got some guy with, a great beard with some guns and going and assassinating somebody. What's the point in doing all that? Ain't no point for no bloodshed. They can do more damage by using this fake monopoly money they got, and also social media, brainwashing, psychological stuff. Gaining influence. That's just what they do. 720, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Somebody wants to point doing all that. Hey, Anthony.
All right, what's happening?
Hey, this is the guy who sent in the pork lamb. The guy who sent in the chat for the fourth turn in the book that was about strong men and turning into weak men, so on and so forth. Those cycles.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I had a question about what you think about that, because it's kind of happened throughout history. Every 80 years, cyclically. I mean, if you pick up the book and see what I'm talking about, you'll see it's kind of happened. I mean, 80 years ago, we had World War II. 80 years before that, Civil War, Revolutionary War, 80 years before that. So you have your highs, then you have your awakening, then your unraveling, and then your crisis. And we're moving into a crisis right now, and that's what the fourth turning is. So how do you think that the internet is going to change and impact that?
It's hard to really put it into words because the internet can do so much, and not just in the way of spreading information, but also you got crypto going on right now, which is a totally 100% internet thing. People are being paid now in cryptocurrency. And, a while back, I kind of laughed at crypto, but now I can't. I mean, Bitcoin is not going anywhere, and people are using Bitcoin like a stock, like a way to hedge against inflation, like a way to actually invest cash.
Investment, right?
It's an investment, yeah. So you have all this stuff going on. People are figuring out new ways to kind of, I guess, finagle the system. You have information being spread. Social media can't really stop the spread of information, but they also can influence people. So there's going to be a kind of information war. There's also going to be a technology war. I think that'd be the bigger war rather than having foot on the ground. Like the whole boots on the ground thing that's kind of old school, especially with developed nations.
I don't think it's going to go kinetic here.
No, it's not going to be that. It's going to be where we are right now, in my opinion. That's going to be the battleground.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, how much that and the main thing that really worries me is, I got two kids. They're 10, and they're in school right now. So the indoctrination that they're doing in our schools right now is really the main front line that we need to be on, is with the information war and what we teach our kids. Because a lot of them, I brought my kids, in 1984, they never even heard of it. They never heard of Animal Farm. And I remember when I was their age, we were in Animal Farm school, so they don't know the dangers of it. So it's not something that's immediate. It's something that's going to be happening in about 40 or 60 years, to where our country really changes from something that we know and love, to something that's totally not even recognizable.
That's right. Absolutely.
And then my second question for you is, if somebody absolutely, you had to make a choice between white gravy and brown gravy, and you had no other choice, what would you choose?
Man, just launch me into the sun. That'd be a better choice. But if I had to, I would say brown gravy, I suppose. But
all right, man.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. I appreciate you taking my call, man. I really suggest you get that book, read it. It's great. Everyone else in the chat, please look it up, The Fourth Turning. It's a really good book. What's wild about it, it was written in 1997. And everything that's coming right now that's happening with the culture war, that was kind of foreseen in that. So It's really prophetic.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate it.
And thanks for taking it. All right. Have a good night.
All right. Great call. But yeah, speaking about crypto, someone said if the internet goes down, then you don't have any more crypto. Well, understand this. You know that most cash is digital. Most of your actual paper dollars are digital. Well, like 98% of your cash is digital. If everybody went to the bank right now and got all the money out, it's not there. Ain't no more Fort Knox. Ain't no more. This is all just debt. All debt. It's all fake. It's all fiat. It ain't no money. This is monopoly money we're dealing with. So if you can't go to the ATM, if you can't go to your bank, and then if the things really get crazy and get out of hand, money will have no worth. Even gold and stuff will have no worth. What are you going to do with gold to be able to buy some bread? At that point, you need to be doing things that don't require money to. You need to be able to have skills that don't require money to be able to execute, if that makes any sense. At that point, you need to be trying to grow food and raise farm animals to be able to sustain yourself and be able to understand how to build structures and, chop trees, that kind of thing. Because what you going to do with money? What's money going to do if there's no more electronic? I mean, that's a whole different thing, though, so I digress. But I advise getting into crypto, Bitcoin especially, because everybody knows Bitcoin. And I was a guy that said Bitcoin is trash. I said that recently, but now I've kind of had like a second wave red pill, but that's a different story. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to 276. You're on line. Who am I speaking to? 267.
Hello?
Yeah, so who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Majesty from Philadelphia. So, I've been looking into culture and stuff like that, and I've had political conversations with my dad, and my dad's he's pretty apolitical. We're both Christian, but he's pretty apolitical, and he pretty much brought up like, if people don't believe in a God, or if they don't believe in Jesus, basically, that all of this stuff pretty much doesn't matter. Like, you can craft whatever policy that you want. Even the founding fathers knew this. Like, you could craft whatever policy that you want. The system could be running like clockwork. If people don't have morals and they don't have some type of moral code to go by, all the policy is trash. Ain't nobody gonna care. Like, even with the in the Constitution, it says the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, for example. Back then people had morals, so the Constitution doesn't really say anything about who's able to bear arms. It doesn't say like whether or not criminals should be allowed to bear arms or anything like that. But if you have a moral society, you could bet that people aren't really going to be going out of their way to do something like sell guns to criminals or crazy people. So for the most part, the culture is really what's important, and people's belief in God is really one of the more important things.
Okay, I can see that.
So Yeah, what's your stance on that?
I mean, I think for a lot of people, they're going to need religion to keep themselves centered. I've always kind of said that because a lot of people just can't control themselves. They can't. They have that they need the spirituality to center themselves, so they don't just go through life without any kind of moral standard, with no moral standard, with no real inhibitions. Naturally, you're going to have a wrecked society. And I think what'll happen is once you have more people that are like that are less religious and don't really care about doing the correct things in society, you're going to have a collapse. And that's what's going to bring about the next wave of people that are going to be stronger. It'll get really, really, really bad, and then it'll go the other way. It's part of this whole cycle.
It'll reach down like the economy did. But yeah, that's really the main thing, because when you think about it, like even some of these leftists and people that believe that the government can fix a lot of things, all they're doing is projecting their view of God or some type of system or whatever, what have you, to be able to influence their situation from the outside. Or it's really just like selfishness and worship of the self. Like for abortion, for example, it's pretty much just, I don't want a kid, so I'm going to kill my kid and sacrifice my kid in order to fulfill my own desire. It's not really like, oh, I did something, it resulted in me having a kid, and I should own up to it. It's just like, I'm not ready for this, so I'm going to kill my kid. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, 100%.
Yeah, and I also want to get your stance on like the drug war. I'm a libertarian. I'm also a conservative as well. So I believe that the culture is important. I believe that there's certain stuff that's very important, like this state shouldn't just be eliminated. But like with the drug war, I think that I don't think the government really had a place in trying to tell people what property they can own when they bought it themselves. But I do understand that property, meaning the drugs and stuff like that, that property is pretty much, it's a negative thing. I'm not trying to justify it saying that they should do the drugs. I'm just saying that, it's still their property, even though it's like something horrible like that.
So, I mean, as far as the drug war, I'm not a guy that thinks drugs should be legal, because the problem with drugs is not it's not necessarily about morality. There's a moral argument to make, but the problem is that drugs kill society. I was watching a documentary about Iran, and they were complaining about foreign influence that allows drugs to come into the country, because they feel like they're being killed internally, because the drug addicts are killing society. These people are not reproducing. If they are, the babies they reproduce are going to have all kinds of medical problems. They have medical problems. They are causing all kinds of crime. They're destroying streets. They're a cancer upon society. Drugs are a cancer upon society. So I'm not sure where anybody would encourage that kind of stuff to be here. And the biggest problem is big pharma. It's not even really the weed and stuff like that. That's kind of the entry point to some people. But the biggest entry point is big pharma, because fentanyl is a big pharma creation. It's a synthetic heroin that comes from big pharma. Out of these pills, Oxycontin, all that kind of stuff is big pharma. They get you hooked on the pills, hooked on the synthetic heroin, and then you get the fake synthetic heroin from China, from Mexico. They come across the border, like what's happening right now, methamphetamine, stuff like that too. It all comes across, and people are infected. They can't get off. You killing off whole generations. You got all these crack babies, fentanyl babies. It's a mess. The death toll super high. I think it's a form of warfare coming from China, especially because they keep pumping it into the country. So I'm not in favor of people being able to use drugs, because I know that it's a weapon being used against us to try and kill us internally. So that's my stance on it. How you feel about that?
I mean, I agree with you. I do think that they are detrimental, and to me, it's really just this a spiritual thing. Like even with the friends that I've talked to, they've done stuff like shrooms and stuff like that. And even from the conversation that I've had with my dad, it's like my dad has told me like it's certain stuff that's not meant to be messed with. It's certain spiritual planes that's not meant to be messed with. Certain stuff that you see when you're under the influence of certain things. And that stuff is not really supposed to be like tapped into. And I just think that stuff is bad. I do understand though that it is other people's private property. That's something that I have to understand. But to me, it's like it's also a negative thing. But again, like it goes back to what I'm saying. Like if people believed in a Bible, in the Bible, and they believe in God, they most likely are going to be turned to this type of stuff, these type of negative things that'll get them away from the reality of life and stuff like that. It'll help them evade their problems and stuff like that.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, man. I think drugs are a weapon used against Americans to try and kill us internally. Killing off a lot of the more conservative areas too. A lot of poor people, killing them off. That's what's happening. And it's not like making them legal is not going to solve the problem with the health. The actual problem is not even the people going to the penitentiary. Nowadays, see, this ain't 1999. I mean, this ain't 1989. This ain't Reagan. This ain't Bush. This ain't back in the day where everybody was getting locked up 25 years with the L for crack cocaine. Them days are over with. They gone. They been gone. Guys are getting out of jail from that era right now, and guys are not going to the penitentiary. You're not going to see a guy right now with some crack going to jail for 30 years. That's not happening. What's happening right now is people take a hit of that fentanyl and die instantly, right away. Narcan all over the place. They stopped carrying Narcan in Ohio because it's like, man, this ain't even no point. Let them die. Because when they get that Narcan, it becomes an enabling thing. You're going to see the same guys over and over again hitting that fet, and you're going to keep reviving them. You might revive the same guy in the same night with the Narcan. So they stopped carrying Narcan in certain places. West Virginia, it's like that. This stuff is a scourge on society, man. I don't see anybody could be like, yeah, let's do that. Let's have more of a thing that's killing us off. It make no sense. It's dumb. It's so dumb. It's just like this whole welfare state. That's like a monopoly money heroin. All this welfare state, you got all this free money to sit at the house and do nothing and not engage in society. It's the same thing with the drugs. You get your drugs, you get your free money. You can sit on the couch, smoke crack, shoot heroin, and if you don't die, you could be entertained. All right. The number to call, 434-658-1220. All righty. It's Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Hey, man, it's Lido. Nice talking to you. Nice for taking the call. ABL. Oh, man. So much going on. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this new variant that's going on with this COVID thing that's going on. But what they're not telling the public is about the virus mutating. Okay, the public is very ignorant about a lot of stuff when it comes towards viruses. Okay, they know that the public doesn't know any better. In the history of coronaviruses of the world, right? Like different viruses, whenever like a virus mutate, they mutate to a form that are, typically more contagious. That's true. But a lot of times when a virus mutates, it becomes less deadly. But they're not telling people that it's like how you have a black ink inside of a printer, and the more you use it, the black ink is used, the less you see the ink on the paper become gray until it becomes shaded out and so forth. A lot of viruses are like that. So there's two things that's operating right now. They're saying the virus mutate. Everyone hide in the closet now, and go in the closet and play hide and seek with your shadows. But there's two things happening right now that's beneficial for people. A lot of people, they say, are catching COVID-19, which means that there's a lot of people with natural immunity. And they're saying the virus is mutated, which means that the virus is most likely becoming less deadly.
Yeah.
And this is not my go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you. Go ahead.
But this is not my word. This is also on a scientific website called gavi.org. That's gavi.org. They said viruses gradually becomes less virulent, which means less deadly, over time. But because they wanted to push the propaganda, they said, but there's no guarantee that COVID-19 will follow that pattern. Okay, that's what they said. And another thing I wanted to share with you, ABL, I have a friend I used to work for the government in New York, okay, until I left New York. I left that job and I left New York. My friend also, one of my friends also works for the government. I don't want to say what job he does because, I don't want to get in trouble. But he sent me something today, which I wanted to share with your audience. And have you ever heard of it's called the shielding approach? You ever heard about that?
That sounds familiar, but I don't know what that is.
Okay, Candace Owens spoke about it like a year ago, that the CDC had on their website called the shielding approach. Now, I'm going to post the link. Can I post the link in your chat? I don't want to do it without your permission.
Links,
to let people.
Yeah, links don't work.
Oh, okay. Well, this is on the CDC. The only thing you have to search is just type the shielding approach in Google. Okay, this is on their website. This is not conspiracy theories. Okay, but now they're doing a petition in New York City, and I want to read to you what the petition that these people are pushing in New York right now. I want to read it to you real quick. It's very fast. This is what it says. Okay, I'm gonna push it to you. My friend sent it to me today. It says this: petition for the mayor of New York City and governor of New York State to trace, detain, and quarantine unvaccinated New Yorkers in green zones/camps, according to the CDC guidance titled Interim Operational Considerations for Implementing the Shielding Approach to prevent COVID-19 infections in humanitarian settings. Okay. Then it also went on to say this: we also urge authorities to separate children from parents who refuse vaccination and forcibly inject every man, woman, and child with the certificate of vaccination ID AI under current FDA authorization. Candace Owens spoke about this about a year ago. CNN was saying Candace Owens was a conspiracy theorist. She don't know what she was talking about. She's evil. All the news media was saying that she's crazy. Now they're pushing a petition in New York City to start operating the shielding approach. And if you guys think I'm lying, you can go on, type in cdc.gov and just type in shielding approach and read what they're saying, that they want to put people in camps. And now when they have this new variant, which is Dr. Fauci keeps saying that there's going to be new variants every time. What's crazy about Dr. Fauci, every time when he say there's going to be a virus, glory and behold, there's a virus. You say there's going to be a variant, glory and behold, there's a variant. Okay? So that's what I wanted to share with your audience, ABL. I don't know if you want to put anything on that, but thank you for taking my call, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Wow. So, yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going to a camp. I am not going to a camp. Hey, man, I say try best you can. I'll be like greased up deaf guy on Family Guy. It ain't gonna happen. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be able to do it. 612, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Hey.
All right.
Hello?
On?
You're on.
So yeah.
Okay, before we start, turn your stream down. Turn your stream off in the background, please.
All right. Hey man, try best you can.
I wanted to talk about well, I heard through the grapevine, I don't know if this is a factual thing, but that they're talking about doing gas experiments in New York City.
What kind of gas? What kind of gas experiments?
Go ahead. I heard about that through the grapevine. I heard that they're doing gas experiments in New York City. They're going to be doing them in the subways. They're going to be doing them in the, where the trains are and where people are. And they're going to be doing some type of sub-gas experiments. Is that factual?
Now, what kind of wait, call it. Wait. So before we say anything else, what are you talking about exactly? What do you mean when you say gas experiment?
Okay, well, I've heard that they're going to be doing some type of sub-gas experiments in New York City to test for biological.
So they're gonna release some. So wait, caller, wait. Just hear me out. So are they gonna just release some gas randomly and test people that way? Is that what you heard?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know, and that's what I've heard. I don't know if they're. I don't know exactly what kind of gas or anything of that nature, but yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I can't say I've heard that one, but I mean that's pretty crazy if that's true.
Yeah, and also Kyle Rittenhouse was right. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old kid. You got I don't even know how old them grown men were. We shouldn't even talk about the grown men who were chasing this young man out there doing his civil duty to his community and trying his best to help people that he loved and cared for. Because this is how societies collapse. If you don't let people take care of themselves, if the police ain't gonna do it, you gotta at least let. Oh man, hold on. I apologize. I get loud. But if you don't let the people at least, and if the police are not willing to do their due diligence, we have collapsed. So Kyle Rittenhouse, I get a young man much love, much support. Everybody should get on whatever he got, GoFundMe, Patreon, whatever he got going on. I don't care. Give him money. The media, they discredit this young man. They called him racist. Joe Biden called him racist. Joe Biden called him a racist. Kamala Harris did. Everybody called him a racist. And he got off because he was doing the right thing out there. And the young man, 17 years old, he deserves respect for that. He was out there, he's an honor. That's the type of men that I want in my society.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, ABL, and thank you for the show.
Thank you. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, he kind of threw me off at first with the gas question, but it was a good call. So shout out to him. And thank you all for being here yet again. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video. a thumbs up if you have not done so. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's 100% free. Subscribe right now and click that bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. So let's go to the next one. Let's try 224. You're on the line. What's speaker to?
Hey, so I literally want to dovetail off a couple of people previous to me. I watch cartoons, son. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to start with is the whole gas mask thing. And, I should say gas mask thing because it's people that they are trying to play with. And I think you guys know from what has come out in Philly. Buddy, hang on. What has come out in Pennsylvania just a couple weeks ago about the smallpox that have seemingly been found. I'm curious as to if that's being found everywhere or other places, or it's just not being said. So, what are your thoughts on that? And let you know that I do. I'm preparing for stuff like that because I don't think this caller before me, actually even who realizes the ramifications of what he was saying. I think it's very clear, and I think it's going to go down. So, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I don't really take anything off the table. I think anything could happen. I'm turning down a little bit because we got a lot of noise. I think anything could happen, but I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. And some things it's kind of hard for me to really conceptualize it without a whole lot of information behind it. So in order for me to really say something, I have to really kind of look at it and then see, okay, what's going on? Because I've not really heard too much about that. So I don't really take anything off the table, but I just don't really know. That's pretty much where I'm at. And it's good to prepare for whatever comes your way, regardless of what may happen. Be prepared, be ready for whatever's going to happen. All right. What's going on?
Yeah, I do appreciate you. I'm dealing with a little 4-year-old right now.
Okay. I got you.
Anywho, listen, I encourage everybody to be very vigilant and stay prepared because this is way beyond our specific government or anybody that I think that, we've dealt with in the past. So I think this is pretty big, and I'm optimistic, but yet I am very precautious. So,
right on, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. I appreciate it,
brother. All right. Hey, you got the little boy back there tearing stuff up. I was the same way. I was the same way, so I understand. Hey, sir, if you're watching, I understand. And little boy, if you're watching, I feel you, man. You got to go throw stuff around, man. You got to be a Power Ranger right now. I get it. All right, let's go. 209, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Paulette in California.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, I wanted your opinion on Al Sharpton. I was in a chat room today, and it came up that Al Sharpton always seems to be around, and what's he doing there anyway?
He's just, it's an old school grift. He's just getting money, just trying to be out there on the scene, keeping his name relevant. So he continues to get donations through his foundation, through the National Action Network. And then the other guy, Messy Jesse, has the Rainbow Push Coalition. So they just show up, they say a few words, and they get donations. That's part of the whole thing. And then sometimes what they do is, if there's a person that has a grievance against somebody, against the state, against the city or something like that, they'll go out there, they'll talk for them, they'll organize some council, and they get money off the back end. It's all about just trying to get money, nothing else. They stir things up to get money.
Yeah, I saw him on this, the interview after the Ahmaud Arbery case. His father was out in front of the courtroom, the courthouse, I guess, and he was making a speech, and it was all about, everybody loving each other and forgiveness and all that sort of thing. And Al Sharpton and I guess the other guy, maybe was his attorney or something, they started just getting real mad, and they just rushed him off after he said that all lives matter. And it was real interesting to watch Al Sharpton's face, how he was all smiles, and as soon as he found out that this guy wasn't following his agenda, his face got really mad.
Yeah, of course, because that kind of ruins the whole thing, because they have to go back to people that donate to them. They have to go back to their members and be like, hey, why didn't you say anything? Why'd you let that man say all lives matter on stage like that? Okay, now what they probably want to say is, well, hey, we can't tell the father of the deceased that all lives don't matter. How are we going to tell him how to say something about his son? But at the same time, they don't want him to talk too much, so they try to get him off the stage. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Ben Crump touch him on his shoulder, trying to get him off the stage, because that's ruining their money. It's all about cash. It's not really necessarily about what he's saying. It's about his ability to ruin their ability to get money from other people.
Yeah, I believe his name is Marcus Arbery.
Yeah, the father.
And the father, I just want to say, just bless his heart. He's a wonderful man.
Right on.
And thanks so much for letting me talk to you tonight.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate
Goodbye.
you. All righty.
Okay, bye-bye.
If you guys have not seen that clip, I'm going to play it right quick. This is Ahmaud Arbery's father saying all lives matter. Let me put this on the screen right quick. And you're going to see some body language. I'm going to point it out so you guys can understand what she was talking about if you've not seen it.
We got that list mark. This history today, letting you know that kid life does matter. That's right. For real, all life matter. All life. Yeah.
All life matter. And he has an accent, of course. This is South Georgia, so you already know what it is. Let's start from the jump.
We got that list mark. This history today, letting you know that black kid life does matter. That's right.
Black kids' lives do matter.
For real, all life matter.
For real, all life matter.
All life. Yes. Not just black children. We don't want to see nobody go through this.
Not just black. We don't want to see nobody go through this. And then look over here over his shoulder. That's Ben Crump. See, he has the two the top championship BLM grifters on his shoulder. On his right, you have Ben Crump, the lawyer with the purple tie. On the left, you have Al Sharpton, big time grifters. Now watch the language of Ben Crump. You see that hand right there? Watch that.
Amen. I don't want to see no daddy watch a kid get lynched and shot down like that.
I don't want to see nobody watch their kid get lynched and shot down like this. And first, like, look, he was getting ready to touch him. He's getting ready to touch him,
watch
but
the kid get lynched and
he's like, oh, I'm gonna just go like this. I ain't gonna touch him yet. I ain't gonna cut him off right now. I'm gonna touch him a little bit later, so he'll stop.
Shot down like that. That's right, Mom. So it's all our problem.
It's all our problem.
It's all our problem. So hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep doing it.
And there you go. Look, see, look at that. He's like, all right, man. Look at his face. Like, all right, now you're doing a little bit too much now. Look at that. You're doing a little bit too much now. Come on. Let's get off the stage. Let's not do this, man. You're messing the money up. Okay, come on, man. We got to get these M's. We got to get these M's. You're messing it up, sir.
Making this place a better place for all human beings.
Amen. Now he's just outright touching them. Like, don't touch me when I'm on. If I'm right here talking about something like this, don't touch me. Get your filthy paws off me, sir.
human beings. Amen. Everybody. Amen. Love everybody.
That amen, you know what that means, that passive aggressive amen. That's when you about to eat Thanksgiving dinner and your uncle doing the prayer and it's way too long. The food's getting cold. He's like, all right, now, amen. All right, amen. That's right.
Love everybody. All human beings need to be treated equally. Yeah. We finna conquer this lynching. Today is a good day.
See what that was? That was him rushing him off the stage. He did that. I saw that right when that happened too. That hand was crazy. It's like, sir, don't touch me. Hey man, I'm over here talking what I got. I say I need to say what I gotta say about my son. You go over there somewhere. You go over there while I'm over here. How about that? All right, let's get to the next call. Let's go. Hold on, y'all hang tight for a minute. 773, you don't know who I'm speaking to.
Hey, ABL, it's your Chicago police officer friend. How you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm good, ABL. Hey, after years of not only battling crime but battling social issues as well, people don't like to hear it, but in my opinion, slavery is alive and well in America, and it takes the form of all these welfare programs. Because what people don't maybe realize is that when the government feeds you, the government houses you, you're never going to get out of the ghetto. It breaks up families because if you had a father in the house, then you wouldn't qualify for those social programs. But after years and generations of living off the government, it really holds you down. So, the government is your slave master, and they figured out a way to keep you down without having to whip you, without having to have you work the fields. But you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do anything. You don't, and it also saps your productivity and your work ethic. You don't want to work. I've seen people that don't even want to work. They get a good job and they don't like to start at the bottom. And no matter how much it pays, it's like, why should I do this? I'd just rather sit at home and chill. But you're not gonna go anywhere or do anything that way. You'll never get out of the ghetto. You'll never have a business. You'll never have, a better life. That will be your life, generation after generation after generation. And the more people that you put on the government dole, which is what they're trying to do, the more people you put on the government dole, the more that happens. They have no viable skills whatsoever.
Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen, and it's ways to control people. Like with the whole slavery thing, they had the laws in place to control people, but this is most certainly control, and eventually they're going to make them do certain things aside from just sit down and do nothing, because they control everything. If the government provides you food, clothing, shelter, they could tell you to do whatever they want you to do. Okay, be an experiment for this brand new thing we have going out to the general public. You take it first. You're right here in the ghetto, aren't you? They actually did that, because out here in Tennessee, right when the vax first came out, they were going to the low-income area, like the projects and whatnot, with the National Guard in uniform, trying to do like tests. And then it was like they set up like the little vax things right by these areas. So that they I see what the whole thing is. They're trying to control these people so then they can make them do whatever they want. And a lot of them are going to be going to the prison system. And once they go there, slavery is really, really happening for real. Working for next to no money, making certain things for corporations. That's how the whole thing goes.
Absolutely, ABL. It's a creative way to control people. It's a creative way to control people. Also, back in the, let's say, 50s or 60s, you could be a high school dropout. You can go to the steel mills of Pittsburgh. You can go into the car manufacturing of Detroit. You could actually learn a skill, be a butcher or whatever. You can learn a skill. You can actually be in charge of a bunch of other people and be foreman. Learn how to work a bunch of sophisticated equipment. Didn't have a high school diploma and make a good living for your family. You're busy working, so you're not busy, idle time. What do they say? Idle hands is the devil's playground. When you have nothing to do, suddenly you're getting ideas. Let's go carjack. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Crime goes up. By the way, regardless of what I just got done saying, I'm one of those people that say never, ever take away welfare from people. And the reason I say that is they have no viable skills. What's going to happen? And this is the underclass. This is not just blacks. This is the underclass. Whether you're white or American Indian or black or whatever, in the urban areas, you might have different percentages. But if you take away their only form of income that they've had for generations, you have to eat. Watch what happens to crime then. In the scheme of things, when you talk about, military spending and everything else, in the scheme of things, welfare is a small amount of money compared to other things. And if you take that away from them and say, hey, you got 1 year left on welfare, then you don't have anything. But some of them can't even read. Seriously, I've been inside these schools. These schools are almost just zoos until you maybe drop out at sophomore or junior year of high school. That's why I commend people that grow up in those areas and make something of themselves, because it's even that much harder to learn and study in that school system. It's ridiculous. But, that's society today.
Right on.
And one last thing, ABL.
Well, I got like no more time, so real quick.
I just wanted to say you should have an all-call-in show where people are, giving their kids baths and they're listening to themselves on the feedback. It was hilarious. So, all right, ABL, good show.
Thank you for the call.
You later.
Appreciate it. All righty, let's get to some more here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box below, right there on a ticker below me speaking as well. And let's go to 260. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 260. Hello. Going once, going twice. Sorry, I don't know what happened. The Obama phone is not picking up. 956. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 956, hello.
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
It's Will from Edinburgh, Texas.
All righty, what's going on?
Deep South Texas, by the border.
So how's everything there? Are you getting a lot of problems across the border right there?
Yeah, it's because I work at a tire shop, and then I get a bunch of DPS that go through there to work on their cars and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty bad. They're pretty sympathetic to the people there, but it's quite a bit of people.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, are they coming across and staying right there, or are they coming across and going to all over the country?
Well, they're staying there, and then you have people that hold them up, like kind of stash houses and stuff. And they, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, but I was going back onto the caller about the that video that you showed about the Sharpton, and I was seeing like Colin Kaepernick had those commercials about now he's with Ben and Jerry about that. Now they have social justice with ice cream and stuff. And I was like, that's all compensation. Compensation for? It's like
compensation.
No, him making money off of that. You know what I'm saying? Just the same thing as the Al Sharpton was doing.
Oh yeah, it's all
has been doing.
Yeah, it's all grifting. It's all part of a game that they do to try to make money. That's all that it is. He's right there. Speaking about Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, they're all right there to get money. And then here's, Colin Kaepernick doing the exact same thing. They're just old guys doing it, and Kaepernick is a young guy doing it. Kaepernick could be the same age that they are in the future doing the exact same thing, trying to rush some man off and then lost his son while he's trying to give an impassioned talk because he's all about making money. It's not even about anything else.
Right, yeah. And him rushing. His son that just died, and they're rushing him off it's like
that's foul.
It's like, hey man, my son died, not your son, bro. Like,
right.
Let me speak what I want to say, bro.
Exactly.
But yeah, I watch your show all the time. I like you guys. You and Mr. the cop guy but yeah, I'm just calling here from Deep South Texas. A Mexican guy.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And let's go to some more here. Let's go. 215 here on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. How's it going?
It's all good. About yourself?
Everything's going good. So basically, here's what happened today. I was in Chester, PA, and I saw this one guy who was hyped, just coked, that whacked out on drugs. He was in his own world, just rolling all over the ground, just coughing everywhere. They called the people at the terminal called the police. The police one cop shows up. He calls for backup, and then the guy gets up, starts charging at him. So, the guy pulls out his taser. The cop pulls out his taser, and everybody's running away. And mind you, the cop's at least 20 feet away from this. This taking place is like 15, 20 feet away from us. Tasers can't reach that far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, why is everybody running? It's not like he's pulling out his gun. But no, they ain't even tase the guy. When the guy was just like saying, shoot me. And the second cop showed up, one distracted him, another one just tackled him to the ground. They just sat on him and just put his legs on, folded his legs and just handcuffed him. And just put him in the ambulance. So, no, we don't need any more drugs in this country at all.
Exactly.
Marijuana. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. The drugs, it causes so many problems. Like, I've been in the drug area. Like, I tell the story all the time about how I was living in this area when I was a kid in Virginia, in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's a lot of poverty, a lot of crime, but where I was living at was okay. Somebody might get shot every now and again, but it wasn't like, a war zone where it was constant crime like in some parts of the city were. But what happened was one day they shut down this housing project called Ida Barber. When Ida Barber shut down, they gave them vouchers to go to different apartment complexes around the city. And just so happened that our complex was one of them. So we go from a relatively quiet neighborhood with the occasional fight, shooting or whatever, to Animal House overnight. And the key element was the drugs. You got dope fiends on your door all night. You go if you look through the peephole, you can see them. They look like they're zombies. You have zombie land happening. Nobody wants to live in a place like that. People say, let's legalize drugs, but it's like, do you want to live next to the dope house? Do you want to go and be in the crack house at a young age like I was? I don't think you want to do that. So people got to think about those other things that impact society in a negative way before they say let's legalize drugs.
Exactly. And then, not to mention, the drugs has effect on people's health, mental health, physical health. It deteriorates people's brains. I have a couple of people I know, they used to do drugs a lot, but now they're trying to get off. They still smoke weed, but they're thinking about going to get vaccinated because they feel like they're at risk of COVID now because of all the drugs they do over the years. So it's like, and I remember I watched this one video. You ever heard of this YouTube channel called Think Before You Sleep?
No.
Well, it's kind of, I would check it out if I was just a recommendation. I like what he said at the end. He said, if you take care, for people who take care of their health, your mental and physical health, then you can't be easily controlled and manipulated by the government.
Right.
Especially like what happened with the coronavirus. Like, and mostly the majority of people affected was either elder or people who already had health conditions anyway, that had a weak immune system.
Right. Exactly.
And from what I've seen on most of the local outlets, there was at least a lot of people in their elders that survived the coronavirus, especially in their 90s, even when they went to the hospital or not went to the hospital. At least 5 or 6. So I was like, well, it's just the majority of people who are at risk or people who have existing health problems. And from what I hear, the people who mostly died were either heavy smokers who had lung problems. Just pretty much that's really about it. So I wonder what they say about this new variant of Delta variant and all that stuff. Did they say it's anything like COVID?
What do you mean?
Because I don't mean to sound out of touch, but I haven't really been hearing too much about the Delta variant that's out. Honestly,
well,
I'm not watching the right station.
They had the Delta variant, then they have the Omicron. The new variant is the Omicron. It came from South Africa, so there's all kind of variants of the virus. But I mean, I think it's all the same. It's not like when the variants come out, the news makes it seem like it's going to be worse and it's going to be very contagious and stuff. But ultimately, it's going to be the same or not even as bad. Probably be weaker.
Yeah, true. Like I said, your body, like I said, if most people live healthy lifestyles, they wouldn't have nothing to really worry about anyway, because your immune system, exercise builds your immune system. So
that's right. And
plus, one thing I've noticed of a lot of these mask wearers and people who are heavy on people getting the vaccine, a lot of these people don't even wash their excuse my language, a lot of these people don't even wash their hands. So they're not even as sanitary as they claim everyone else should be. So they should kind of focus on everything they project on everyone else is what they are. They should kind of focus on being a little bit more clean. Right. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Same to you. All right. Got time for a few more calls here. The Omicron variant. It's making up. I mean, some of this stuff, I'm pretty much, I feel like it don't even really exist like that, in my opinion. It's there, but it's not really there. 501, you're the line I'm speaking to.
Hey, this is Rick.
All righty. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just wanted to say, love your show. Me and my wife, the missus, watch it all the time. Just wanted to get your take on this. I think somebody's already asked you before, but about this new variant. I don't want to say what. I don't even know the name of it. It just sounds like some scary transformer coming in from South Africa, I believe.
Yeah.
But I kind of had this little theory, and I just thought maybe I'd bounce it off of you. So if all the vaccinated people, and I think even Boris Johnson said today, they're going to now want a fourth booster, a fourth shot coming up. So, and also too, now since they can vaccinate the children, I just kind of wondering if all these deaths that's going to start happening, because usually around the start of winter and flu season, is it going to be because these people have no immune system, or is it because this scary new transformer variant that's coming after us? I just wanted to, get your take on that.
Well, you know what? The variant, they may try to blame that for a lot of things. They may try to say, oh, because of the new variant, we need to be tougher on our restrictions. We need more lockdowns, even if you are vaxxed. Or they might try to push the booster with the variant because the booster is not necessarily that popular. It's not as popular as the original vax, the double vax or the Johnson & Johnson one shot. So they may try to use this to try and push the booster also. And they're going to say, well, since this new thing is out there, get your booster. That's going to be the way. So I think they'll use it for a variety of purposes, but probably mostly to push the booster.
Yeah, I agree, because kind of like in the same train of thought, there's a lot of people I know that have been, double vaxxed, and now since they're pushing the booster, they're over it. They're like, I don't want to get it. I don't see no point. I mean, am I just going to have to start taking these shots every 6 months? So, I mean, I really think the trust in it's kind of fell through. I mean, I'm seeing it like in a majority of people that were gung-ho for these vaccines. My mom had a really bad case of COVID and was telling me for the longest time that she was going to get the vaccine when she got over it. And then she changed her mind, and still to this day is like, I'm glad I didn't get it.
That's right.
So I just kind of wanted to get your take on what you thought, how they were going to spin this new, transformer variant at us to scare us more, I guess. But yeah, I think that's probably a smart guess to try to get us, the ones that not been vaxxed, or to push that third booster, or, like what I said earlier about with the children, what's the best way to scare you with your kids,
right?
With their health, of
right.
course, and the whole public education system. That's another scary thing. Is they're going to be like, oh, your kid's not allowed to come to school now because they're not vaccinated. Okay, well, I mean, it's like, okay, I'm going to have to homeschool apparently.
Exactly.
Because once again, I mean, it's a vaccine, something you're supposed to be able to take one time, you're good. These are injections. They're still experimental, and they admit that, but they use their wordplay and they dance around it. So, especially that. Thank goodness that we have, ways of being able to get information out there, like your channel, YouTubers, and we're not just completely reliant on the mainstream brainwashing networks of the planet that work for some weird global agenda that we're not privy to. So yeah, I just wanted to say keep up the good work, and love your show, and I'll continue to listen, and man, just keep rocking on. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Let's go to some more here. Let's go 909, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Hello. Okay, turn your stream down for me, please.
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. Okay, hello. Hi.
All right, what's going on?
Hi, how are you? This is Carla from California.
All righty. So what's happening?
Thank you so much for everything you do and everything you've been doing. We've been doing this together, that's for sure.
Right on.
In regards to, I don't know how many words, like, in regards to the guy who called that used to work for the government and was talking about the coronavirus. If he's listening, thank you so much. Because him doing that, I was sitting there listening tonight, and him doing that gave me the courage to publish something I'm going to put out in a couple weeks on Amazon. And because, like, listeners, don't be scared of the coronavirus. Don't be scared of the coronavirus. Nobody has died at home. Be scared of the hospital. Be scared of the mad scientist. That's who you be scared of. That's who you be scared of. Do your exercise at home, the gym, whatever, like beef up your immune system. Anything, our bodies are made to heal. Ask anybody you know who has had their tongue pierced or their nose pierced. If you don't put anything in it, it'll close up on its own. You have to make, even a person with their ears pierced, you have to leave something in there and make it close. Your body is made to heal itself. If they didn't give it to us, we wouldn't get it. It's crazy because any foreign subject, anything that comes into our body, we start sneezing, we start snotting, our body rejects it. That's what a cold is. Anything, the flu shot comes before the flu season. Think about it and read back in 2019, there was an early flu shot. Get your flu shot early. Get your flu shot early before the flu season starts. And that's when people started getting sick. If they didn't make us sick, we wouldn't get sick. If you guys are having stomach problems, you might not like the flavor, but you'll get used to it. Keep it in the refrigerator, 2 bites of sauerkraut a night. And the good acid will counteract all that old acid, that GERD in your stomach, what causes the influx. And stop eating all that crap, shoot. But anyway, thank you for letting me rant.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's go to some more here. Let's go to. All right. Let's go. 972. You know the line. Who am I speaking to? 972. Hello. 972. Going once.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry about that.
All right.
Sorry about that. Hey, this is Unifier TV. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
And not much, man. I accidentally pulled my headphones out. That's why it was hard for me.
Oh, okay.
I pulled them out right before you answered. I accidentally snatched them out when I was driving. But anyway, enjoying the show as always. Quick. I just want to see if you agree with this. Maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I firmly believe that if or when this new thing they say is get ready to spread, or it's already spreading in South Africa, is it?
Yeah.
If it really hits the U.S. and has the impact that they say it does, maybe I'm overly optimistic, but is it too much optimism to think that this time around, if it impacts us the way they say, this time around, if America, this nation, if we approach it in a better way than we did last time, the whole craze, the fear factor, the possible mask lock, all that stuff that they did before, maybe if we approached it better this time, became more informed, realize what makes sense, what doesn't, what they can mandate, what they can't. If we handle it better this time around, it won't last nearly as long as this whole COVID thing did. I mean, is that too optimistic to think that if we band together this time, don't let it divide us, don't let it cause dissension, don't let it cause us to close our businesses up? Maybe this time around we have a chance to do it right. And maybe it won't last as long and have as much of an economic impact as COVID did. Does that make sense, or am I overthinking it?
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. It makes a lot of sense. But see, a lot of people don't want to do that. So I think you got to kind of go to like a free zone where that's happening. Like where I live, that's going on. Like we're not doing all this lockdown mandate, mask mandate. We're just not doing it. People can wear a mask if they want to, but it's not all these mandates happening, and there's no big outbreak of the bug out here. So it's just, it's kind of silly to even think about doing that, but some places just don't want to do it. And the problem is that a lot of people in those places are on board with that. They're on board with the lockdowns and the boosters and the mask and whatnot. So I think if we do, band together, we can get beyond all the nonsense. But unfortunately, a lot of us don't want to do it.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking. People don't want to. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to see the brighter side of things. People don't want to believe the news when they finally start telling the truth about, these numbers were padded. Oh, it's true that this is going on, and people like this don't need the shot. People like this were harmed from the shot. When they finally start telling the truth, the same news source that these people got their fear factor from, they refuse to listen now. Now they want to turn the TV off. They don't want to listen anymore when the truth is coming out. And those are the people that are most dangerous to society. As I keep telling people, it's not the unvaccinated, it's not the quote-unquote anti-vax. It's the compliant ones that are keeping this whole thing going. Because if there's so much resistance that they're not getting through, what else can they do? What else can they do? If everybody realizes their rights, what they can and can't do to us, what can they do? So it's the compliant ones that keep this whole thing going. So hopefully we get a second chance at doing it right, and we can try to, rectify this whole thing when it does hit. So, hey, appreciate the show as always. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Let's go 919. You don't lie. 919 hung up. Okay, let's go to some more. I'm trying to get to another one. Y'all please hang tight with me. I got time for one more call. Let's go to, 614, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yay. Hi, ABL. This is Lola from Ohio.
I love this show. Thank you so much for taking my call. I've been trying to get through for several shows because I just wanted to say a few things and see what you think. And about this new Omicron variant, like, get out of here. It's because people are getting tired of all this stuff and they just want to go on with their lives. And they're like, hey, we're losing control. Quick, come up with another Greek letter alphabet to, so I think it's to continue this fear narrative, because fear will get people to do things like wear masks and stay 6 feet apart and whatnot. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly say, I had heard that, when the vaccines, they were approved emergency use because there was nothing else. We had nothing else to use, So emergency use, push it out, meaning we're going to, forego the required, 4 years worth of clinical trials ahead of time. We're going to keep doing those things, but we're just going to put it out now. And so I thought that was the reason why they were really shooting down anytime someone would mention, hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. And then there was the conversation about, well, the pharmaceutical companies, they can't make money off ivermectin, that patent has expired. And so it's a generic. And that's why, they basically don't want to admit it, where there are other countries that when you get diagnosed with COVID in the hospital, they give you a care package and it has things like Advil and ivermectin and other stuff like that. So to take care of it. And so then there was, okay, either it's because of the money or it's they don't want to. Well, but then, okay, so then out here comes Malnupiravir. Like, what kind of name is that? Basically, ivermectin, but with like a little molecule change so that it can be something that they can put a patent on. And my thing is, now hold up, if there is, okay, so, is the reason that they wanted to shoot down ivermectin and other treatments, was it because they wouldn't get money from it pharmaceutical wise, or is it because if there is an acknowledged treatment, then we can no longer have this quote emergency use, whatever it is, DNA altering concoction. So, whatever it is, the crazy thing is, if you get COVID now and you go to get treated for it, for what, if you're having like really bad symptoms, I guess, and you go to the hospital for it, you're still not going to get the vaccine. You're going to get treatment. You're going to take what the doctor will give you, whether it's like a Z-Pack or ivermectin or whatever, or this new Malnupiravir. You'll get treatment. You're still not going to need this quote vaccine. And what on earth do they think we're going to do this for the rest of our lives? They're coming out saying, hey, looks like our studies show this is only 3 to 4 months effective, so you're going to need another booster. Meanwhile, apparently they're not taking any data on the rate of people who've already had COVID and have natural immunity, how long that their antibodies, I mean, when you get like your other shots as a kid, tetanus and measles, mumps, rubella, I mean, you're not going every 3 or 4 months to get boosters of those things. That's because this is not what those were. People are like, you agree to other shots, you send your kids to school with other shots. I'm like, yeah, for freaking smallpox that you can die from, or like things that when you get it, you have a very high chance of detrimental effects or death. But COVID is not one of those. They need to stop acting like if you get it, then, oh, that's it. You got it. You got COVID. Oh my gosh, you're going to die. They're talking about these little kids with a 0.0006% fatality rate. And they're like, oh, but we can't let them get COVID. Heaven forbid they get exposed to a small amount and build some antibodies, like how our other vaccines work. We give them, like, I didn't even know, now they get chickenpox vaccines. I actually had chickenpox as a kid. I did not know that my son would not have chickenpox, because that was one of the things that they can vaccinate for now. But, that's one of those weakened viruses injected so that you can build some natural immunity. And this other stuff with the DNA I'm just telling people, like, look, there are no long-term studies on this. It's impossible for there to be. If we believe what they tell us, we've only had this thing for about a year. So when they were saying like 6 months ago, studies have shown that there is no risk to pregnant women to take the vaccine. I'm like, it's not even been around for 9 months. How could you say that? And as if everything is going to present right away. I'm so sorry. I'm talking so much. But I just wanted to mention that about the vaccine. And the fact that, the CDC actually had to change the definition on their website of what a vaccine is.
That's right.
Because this concoction that we're putting into people.
I don't mean to cut you. I don't mean to cut you. I'm going to cut you right here, but I'm at the end of my show. I'm like right at the very end. You come.
Okay.
So it's a lot of good information, though. I thank you for your call.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Good night.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But that'll be a wrap for me. But what you're saying was right on point, right? It's 100% truth. But I got to go. We're right past the 11 o'clock. Is there an In-N-Out Burger out there in Phoenix? It's okay. I'm gonna go to the In-N-Out Burger. I'm gonna do it. Shout out to A-Fish. I'm gonna go to the In-N-Out Burger. Yeah, I'll be in Scottsdale, so I'll be around in Scottsdale if y'all down there in Phoenix. Y'all catch me. I'm an easy to find guy. I'm 6'3" for real. I'm a tall black guy. You'll be able to spot me for real. All right, so that'll be a wrap. I will see you guys again. I might try to go live on Wednesday, but I'll be out of town. But I'm gonna try to go live. I might not have my whole setup. I might be on my phone and do a regular stream. I may or may not be able to take calls. Y'all just hang tight. Pardon me, hang tight for that one. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. All right. So that will be it. Thank you to the mods for being here, keeping all the trolls in check, and shout out to everybody for watching, for sharing, for liking, for subscribing, for super chatting, PayPaling, Patreoning, whatever you're doing. Thank you. Couldn't do it without you. And let's go to the supers and wrap it on up. Put the bowl clean on top. Oh yeah, places like Phoenix and El Paso and whatnot, I like a lot. I feel pretty safe out there. I used to walk around all the time in Virginia. I feel like Virginia, that was, like Norfolk and all of that at night. I mean, good grief, bulletproof vest time. But yeah, I think Scottsdale will be fine. All right, we got supers. Hold on one second. So let's go to, hold on. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. Thank you to boy Kachina, who says school ignored St. George mural lightning strike. Thank you to Nate T for becoming a member as an ABL supporter. Thank you to MMM Martin 261, who says racism is the way smart people divide dumb people to keep him from teaming up against the oligarchs. Pay off college debt from relative endowments. Thank you to Arlie Crossett, who says Wynn had the patient on the vaccine with Moderna Pfizer needs to be jailed. Thank you to Lena J for the #1 emoji donation. Shout out to Kathy Tappy for becoming a supporter. Well, being a 2-month supporter. Thank you to Bob KMIT, who says, ABL, I need God in my life, but I don't need organized religion. I think he may be the same way. Yes, I am. 1,000%. I believe in God for sure, but the organized religion, it's just too much stuff going on with it. It's just not really my cup of tea. But nothing against anybody that does, who does practice an organized religion. Nothing against you at all. Thank you to Darren Blanks, who says, we the people. That's right. Shout out to Andrew Rivera, who says, great stream, ABL. Thank you for that. Shout out to Fauna Faye, who says, the gas experiment is real. Go on Pix 11 News. It's non-toxic gas to test potential biological attack. Oh, okay. Wow. Thank you to Samuel Robinson, who says, thanks for your show, ABL 100. Thank you to Angel, who says, hey, ABL, New York is conducting a study to prepare for a chemical terror attack on the subway system by releasing an inert gas with detectors to detect the rate of spread between station and outside. Oh, okay, I see. Thank you to Farna Faye, who says, some way, somehow, somewhere, it's still the white man's fault. Thank you to Louise Smith for being a member. Thank you to Lucky Lacado, who says, this is just the experiment. based on hypnosis. If you choose to be part, well, then you have chosen to be part. You would not have to convince anybody. Also, if it was just some true stuff, just saying get prepared. I like this caller. Thank you to the last who says, great show, safe travel. We sent something your way, ABL. Remember, the ultimate variant is communism. Have a great night, US. Thank you. Thank you to A. Kano who says, you be real easy to spot in Utah. I love you, bro. Oh, I know how it is. Yeah, for sure. And thank you to MLH169 who says, the virus was made in a Wuhan lab to make a vaccine to fight the virus, but none of the vaccines work. This is not about health. There you go. There you have it. All right. So thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I'll be back again, most likely live on the Wednesday, but we'll see. If I'm not live Wednesday, I'll be live on Saturday for sure. Right. And it'll be the same time. It'll be the same time at 8:00 Eastern time. I'll still be on. Well, will it be? Yeah, it'll be 8:00 Eastern time on a Wednesday. Yeah, that's my goal, to be out there. I'm still trying to operate on my time, East time, when I'm out there. And I'm sure I'll do a lot more traveling here pretty soon. So y'all see me moving around a lot. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.